Wow. I opened up my notes and they're like in the middle, not at the beginning where I needed them. That's amazing. Hello, my friends, and welcome. Welcome to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Dominion, and your host for tonight's events, the 6th episode of the second season, Second Star, a Traveler 2300 role-playing experience entitled Grendel Part 2. I am, of course, the storyteller, the game master, the referee, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's a really old joke, and I probably shouldn't have used it at this point, but whatever. And with me, of course, are my players and their characters. So let's check in with them and see what's new and exciting for them in their respective neck of the woods for the last week or so. Starting, of course, because this is what we always do. Why change it? Charles, what do you got for us?
Well, one, we are late for dinner.
Yeah, we are actually starting a smidge late. My bad.
Nothing's new. We're not really. Work is work. It's the end of the year for where I'm at for financials, so it's been a little stressful the last week, and yeah, so it's been. As somebody put it, we drink coffee because we can't drink at 7 o'clock in the morning at the office. Yeah, that's about
at the office. Now, mind you, at 7 a.m., it's okay to drink if you're not at the office.
exactly.
I may have just. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. I can't think of the word I'm
Yep.
looking for.
No, it's okay.
Maybe someone who professionally drives shouldn't be making drinking jokes at the job.
Hey, I'm not drinking alcohol at 7 a.m.
Yeah. Other than that, it's been all right. Life's gone good. I'm enjoying the rain. And I am enjoying that. Holy crikeys! It's almost gonna be Halloween. I got almost everything for my Halloween costume together, so I just gotta get a couple shirts stenciled up, and it'll be awesome.
So what are you gonna go as, or is that a surprise?
I'm gonna go actually as a Beagle Boy from the DuckTales. I got an orange shirt, pair of
Oh, you're talking about the three robbers or whatever they are.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Man, the memory Rolodex had to spin for that one, but not much.
A
Yep.
slutty beagle boy?
No.
No.
Listen, you can't take some random thing and put slutty in front of it and call it a oh, well, I guess maybe you can.
At Spirit Halloween,
Halloween.
challenge accepted.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Spirit Halloween would like a moment of your time.
No, Halloween has been designated the holiday that it's okay to be horny on.
Yeah, because my last time through there was actually last weekend, and they had a delivery driver, and you had your option with a delivery driver with a box in a strategic location, or a delivery driver with a box in another strategic location, depending on your
Your gender.
assigned.
Body morphology.
Yes, the exact. Thank you.
Crazy. What a weird world we live in, eh?
Yep.
As a society, we have said it's okay to be horny at Halloween.
No, you're not wrong. It's like the only holiday that it's like expected, not just encouraged.
Yep. So
somehow
anyhow,
Valentine's Day doesn't fall in that same category. I don't know how that works.
Anyhow, that's what I got going on, and that's about it for me right now.
All right, Wiggles, what do you got for us? What's new and exciting for you?
It's starting to feel like fall, almost at the end of September.
You're finally coming out of the triple-digit weather.
Yeah, no, it's still like hot during like the late mornings, but it's actually just mostly cool nowadays. That's nice.
That's always nice.
Yeah, no, my brother went to a job fair and he has 2 possible jobs lined up. One with the Boys and Girls Club and one then with Wiener Schnitzel. We'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Well, what is that not accurate?
Nothing official with the Boys and Girls Club yet. I just.
So it still sounds like
an application.
Hey, it's still a possible.
Yeah, no, and they're both local to Mojave, which is nice.
Well, that is always nice when they're not so far away. What else you got?
I don't know. For our own traveler game, I'm going to be running Mysteries of the Ancient, so I'm looking forward to that. I've never actually ran a a published adventure before, so that's the first time for me.
Nice. You know what? I don't know what your normal approach is to writing material for individual sessions or what have you, but I would just, instead of, I mean, personally, like for this one in particular, I just break it down into small chunks and then plop it on my notes where it needs to go in order to try to make it make sense. I'm sure that's not very helpful because it's pretty much a shotgun blast of an answer or advice or what have you, but I'm sure you'll get it.
I've managed to lay down some groundwork. I've introduced one of the key NPCs already. I won't be starting that adventure proper probably for like one more adventure. I need them to be more invested in that key NP first, or to make it
Yeah.
more organic for them to start doing the actual adventure.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You don't want to just like, oh, here, plop. Here's an
Yeah, no.
NPC. You gotta work that stuff
And
in a little bit.
and then I gotta move them down from more up the list, and so that'll also take some doing.
All right.
My goal is to make it all organic and feel like player choice when it's not actually player choice.
No, you got to make it feel like it's player choice. That's how you guys ended up in Flex. I'm sorry, that was more of my dark humor. Oh man,
Like food in Soviet Russia. Not everyone will get it.
I missed part of that. What'd you say, Charles?
I said it's like food in Soviet Russia. Not everyone will get it.
Oh my god, that's dark humor. Oh my god. Wiggles, you got anything else, or shall we move on to Thurgor?
That's all for me.
All right, Thurgor, what's new and exciting for you?
Well, first I have to add my little 2 cents to the last conversation there and say nothing brings a group of PCs together like having a captain that's a terrorist.
Oh man, yeah, no, nothing. You know, actually, all BS aside, there have been studies or something. I haven't read any of these, mind you, but you know, when you put a bunch of people through the same stressful environment, they end up bonding a little bit tighter than your average. Yeah, they definitely bond a little bit tighter than your average average group of people, I should say. So, if anything, having the same boss that is also a terrorist may have brought you guys closer than you ever would have expected. Never mind the fact that you're all part of the same player group, but that's that's meta game. That's meta stuff.
That's right.
It's almost like your GM did that on purpose.
So it's cooling off here. We're in the 50s and 40s and stuff at this point. The rain has begun, and we're going to be seeing this almost daily now for a couple months.
Yeah. Only a couple? Oh no, you start getting snow in a couple.
It's like 6.
Oh, okay. Well, wow, your definition of couple and my definition of couple aren't exactly the same.
October, November, yeah, it's about 6.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were asking me what the weather was like for some reason, and I was like, yeah, that's probably because I was complaining about the weather. To be honest, I was like, yeah, it's raining. Like I'm getting soaked out here. Not soaked. I was getting pretty damped, and they were like, it's sunny here. I'm like, yeah, this is the rainy season for us. It'll be like this until about May.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, everything here is going really good. We had a new doc visit the island last Friday, and he hasn't responded back yet, but he's only had it really in his hands for a couple days. Hopefully that one's going to go through, and I'll be done with all these interviews and site visits and stuff because it's wearing me out.
Yeah, you've been doing that for pretty much since since you joined the campaign, if not
Yep.
longer.
Yep.
It's like meanwhile, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a different place to live, so it's not for everybody. So the first person that came for the site visit, the first dentist that came for the site visit, I think it was mostly his wife. It just wasn't for them.
No.
And so, but we do have a hygienist coming full time, going to live on the island and everything. She's going to come next month. She should start work, I think, on the 30th. So that's going to take a big load off of me and get me back to doing
on the spooky day of spooky days.
Yep, the day before anyway.
That's not auspicious at all.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Everything's going good here.
Well, so do you guys pay for moving expenses?
Yep. The facility gives $10K each direction.
Oh,
and
nice.
That's almost exactly what it took for me to move up there.
Yeah, I mean, $10K sounds like I haven't done a lot of moving around. Let me rephrase that. I haven't moved in the last several years, but when I was moving around, it was always because the Army said I needed to, and they always footed everything. Usually
Right.
because they subcontract some local carrier to pick up my crap and send it across the country. However, 10K does sound like a fairly reasonable number to get anybody from pretty much anywhere in the States to you and or from you to wherever else. So,
Right.
and the fact that so when somebody leaves, like if they not quit, but whatever, if they leave the job and they're going back to the continent. Can't believe I just said the continent like that. They go back to the continental U.S. They pay for that too, then, huh?
Yep. Each direction, 10K.
That's impressive for a company to do that. So,
Mhm.
all right, you got anything else?
Nope. That's it. Let's get going.
What's new and exciting in my world, man?
Yeah.
I
What
don't
is?
know. I don't know. I just posted last night in the Discord for my Greyland Trios League players. The time slots were available to get week 4 started and done. I've got 2 out of 5 players scheduled so far. Work is work, rain is rain until May, and then rain is not rain. Then rain is sunshine and high temperatures. What else is? I had my birthday the other day, I'm not even trying to make a joke of this or anything. Like it's my birthday, or it was my birthday rather, on Monday. No big deal. Like literally, no big deal. I'm not trying to like pull some kind of comedic maneuverings or anything, but it was my birthday the other day, but nothing special because old Wiggle says. We're past the 7 minutes, so I can say this. Fuck you, Wiggles. Just kidding. Just kidding. But yeah, it was my birthday. It wasn't really bad. It was, other than the fact I worked and got rained on all day. I'd like to think of birthday like a score, and yeah, I'm winning because the number keeps going up, right? That's actually kind of dark humor too. Now that I think about it. But yeah, other than
You
that,
believe that?
what's that?
I said you keep believing that.
That's definitely one way to look at it, and it's not necessarily as self-defeating as it may sound. um, yeah, really not much new or exciting in my world. I'm still running stuff and doing stuff. I got a couple ideas for different shows or what have you, but trying to keep my schedule a bit open and flexible because there's a couple of projects I may or may not be joining, run by other DMs on Twitch and YouTube, but I don't want to say anything until it's like official, of course. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. Nothing crazy there. So let's go ahead and get started. We're like 13 minutes in and 20 minutes behind, so that's math I don't really feel like doing. So anyway, here we go. Previously on Second Star, after some planning between the players of our show, their newfound patron Iron Mike Tankerson, and 2 pilots from Barrier Aerospace, Reese Zunway and Karina Deacon, a flight of LC-10s is prepped and launched toward Grendel. During the 12-hour flight, numerous reports of actions in the asteroid belt filter in, including reports from ships heading out to recover friends and coworkers, and reports of ships inbound to Beowulf, warning everyone away from the asteroid belt. Ultimately, the team lands on Grendel and begins to assess the situation, learning that Llewellyn Station recently suffered a major storm and took some damage that needs immediate repairs. Chance encounter with a pentapod. Another storm hits as the sun sets, and then as everything settles down, the idea of a return from the dead must be entertained. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. But, of course, we have our opening sequence. And in this opening sequence, we see a number of personnel out on the muddy, cold exterior of Grendel. Everybody's got their vac suits on, or, well, they're not really vac suits, but they might as well be. Let's call them hazardous environment suits. Not hazmat, mind you, because of course the atmosphere on Grendel is mostly methane and some other stuff. Apparently they're all out collecting samples of some of the local small plants. A sudden storm brews on the horizon, sweeping ever closer with alarming speed. The people drop what they're doing and begin moving with haste towards the only shelter they have, a series of habitation modules. One man falls and is lost in the confusion of getting everyone to shelter. Excuse me. The camera hovers over him as the man, apparently unconscious, rolls down a hillside until coming to rest against a rock. The storm rages all around, churning up mud, rain, and snow all mixed into one, rocks flinging this way and that. The man stirs, looks around, confused. A glance to a device wrapped around his arm orients him in one direction, and as the storm rages around him, makes his way to what can only be considered a buried cave, inside of which are excavators and other heavy machinery left behind when the station was first assembled and secured against the raging storms of this world. The man crawls into the excavator, powers it up to ensure clean air in the cabin, and removes his helmet, taking a deep breath. And there, via exposition, I explain how this dude that just recently re-entered the station could conceivably still be alive. Long story short, he managed to make it to this little hideaway, I guess you could say. It's basically where they buried all the equipment because it was easier to bury it than it was to try to lift it back off the planet and send it back down the well. That's a expanse term for going deeper into the system. So where did we leave off? Let's see what my notes say. Basically, we had the garage lost integrity alert, and then as I'm sorry, let me back up just a tiny bit. So we had the garage lose integrity, meaning that either something punctured one of the walls and caused the atmosphere inside to start venting out, or letting the outside atmosphere in. There was a couple of Marines in there, Spearman, Aiello, and what's her face, Blaine. So they went to go secure it. I think one of the players went with. I'm not 100% sure. I know.
I went down there. Yeah.
Okay, well, I know you were headed that way, but as you passed Grimaldi, you happened to overhear on his little link device something about it was the Grendel computer saying that Professor Sturr has re-entered the facility, and Grimaldi knows you heard, but he kind of was like ignoring you or not paying attention or something, because as soon as he got that, he like disappeared into like a classroom or an office or something like that, and left you kind of. He actually no, I think I take that back. I think he actually closed the door in your face before you had a chance to actually say something to him.
Yeah. Right, and that's when I went ahead and went to the garage.
Yeah, and then you went to the garage, but by that point it was already secured or what have you. So
yeah,
let's start. Okay, let's start there. Milligan, what are you doing?
The only other place that the storm compromised the actual research facility was the lab, right? Because I went and repaired that. Okay.
Off the top of my head, without looking through notes or anything, I'm gonna say yes, because the lab, like the upper level, had taken a hole. The lower level got pretty smashed up, like wind and water and whatever the hell else. Everything else was either outside, like the utility vehicle and the Grendelborn. They were outside. The Grendelborn took the big rock to the face. Power dome, or excuse me, the power module took some damage. Now that I think about it.
Yep.
But
But it was like, I
up.
thought it was just, I didn't know it was damage from outside as opposed to shorts or whatever. I don't know.
Something like that.
I didn't know if that module was actually compromised or if it was just the actual power system itself was down.
I think the power module was compromised, and whether related or whether it was a separate incident, I don't know if that doesn't make any sense. Either way, it was Christ, but the brain is running faster than the mouth, and the mouth can't keep up. Yeah, so long story short, so the lab was not blown up. The lab was punctured. The power module was punctured. Power module fuel cells needed some rerunning, rewires, reran, whatever. The communications dome has the big fist-sized holes or larger in it, which is why there was no communication while you guys were on approach and in orbit until you were like literally line of sight with the station. feel like there was something else, but I can't think of it. The vehicle, the Grendel born. You guys
Right.
replaced the slab of transparent, not transparent steel. That's Star Wars. Transparent composite.
Yeah. So there's like one's kind of available. It's not as strong as the other ones.
Yeah, you got the like on the front, like, as we discussed, like on the windshield, it has that I don't know what else to call it. It's got the two box frame where it has two window panes. One window is good, the other one is not a window anymore. It's just composite that you can't see through. But you have a solid seal because initially you failed the roll, but then you found a caulking gun, and when you went to go and actually start applying the caulk to it, man, it's so hard to stay focused right now. When you applied the caulking to it, turns out you just needed to move your hand out of the way or something stupid like that. So it's all sealed up now. So we have basically the students are trying to pretty much lay low, chill out, whatever, in the student hab area, which is
Upper right.
Yeah, up in this area.
Yeah.
Nope, wrong button. That one up in there. Nope, that's logistics. So the students are all in here. Excuse me. Garage lost integrity, but there's a couple of Marines down there checking it out. We have Thurgor coming down the hallway, and then what's his name? Grimaldi popped off into the lab to take his link call from Grendel the computer. We have, of course, the pentapod, and let me just do this really quick for the viewers. Nope. There we go. This is a fairly decent picture of a pentapod. They are named such because they literally have 5 pods on top and 5 pods on bottom. Now he's upside down for some reason. Lock him so you guys don't do that shit to me again. Anyways, this guy is standing outside, and he's got I think we have 2 eyes extended, maybe 1 eye extended. The rest are retreated into the top of the brain dome, literally the brain dome.
So the cold obviously doesn't bother him too much?
I feel like he might have whatever pentapods would wear for cold weather. I don't know. I don't remember if the book I'm using actually refers to anything specific. It did say that he had showed up, and I think we actually talked about this. I think Grimaldi pointed it out that the pentapod had showed up in a 3-legged walker.
Right.
Obviously, it was a pentapod design. But when that snow tornado, whatever it was, popped and everybody ran for the shelter, the wind blew the walker away. But somehow the pentapod is still standing out there.
Okay.
And he's been standing out there ever since. And every 7 hours he comes knocking on the door asking about dead bodies or some shit. Weird.
The last thing I remember us doing in the garage is we deadbolted the big panel door.
Yeah, the roll-up door or whatever.
Yeah. So after that, I want to gather the troopers up and say, I don't know why this guy is trying to break into this facility. All he would really have to do would be knock on the front door, and I'm sure somebody'd let him in.
Yeah.
I said, so I don't have a whole lot of trust in this guy right now. I don't know if he's unhinged. I don't know if he's got some kind of motive. I have no idea, but I can pretty much bet he's going to try to get in the unit again. The easiest place for him to do that would probably be where the big hole is at the lab. But there were other areas that were damaged, so I kind of want to split them up. Any place where there was a hole big enough that we had to repair it, like that a person could get through.
Well, none of the holes, just to be clear, none of the holes are, we'll say for the sake of argument, none of the holes are, we'll just say wide enough to allow a person in full kit. And by full kit, I mean, obviously the the hazardous environment suits. Basically, think of these as some of the more bulky space suits. But basically, in order to fit a person through even the largest hole, they'd have to be kind of a pretty thin person, and they would have to be without their suit, which obviously means they wouldn't survive, because this is not at all a breathable atmosphere for humans.
All right, so I'm going to go find Grimaldi then.
All right, he is currently in the lab module because he dipped off, and we just lost Charles
Right.
from the table. Charles, can we hear you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Something hiccuped for me for a second.
Yeah, I saw your ping jump a little bit, and we got the Wi-Fi signal, but go ahead and rejoin as
Yeah.
you're able, please, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Stormbender says, not super late this time. Yay! Congratulations, you made it only slightly later than we actually started playing. We've been here for 25 minutes talking, but we're actually starting to play now. You haven't really missed a whole lot. You missed the recap, basically. Alright, so you want to find Grimaldi. Grimaldi is in the lab module at the moment.
Yep.
And it sounds like you were in the garage for more than just a moment or two, so maybe by now he's actually over in the I just noticed you guys called one of these hab modules is hab module alpha, the other is hab module 1. He's over in here, and he's probably here, we'll just do this. By the time you find him, he's down here. I don't know what exactly he's gonna do.
I was
down
going
there.
to use the computer to help find him too. I was just going to ask Grendel, please locate Dr. Grimaldi for me.
Yeah, Grimaldi, or not Grimaldi, Grendel. Jesus, these GR names. Grendel's like, Professor Grimaldi is currently on the ground floor of Hab Module Alpha.
Okay.
I don't know if that's anything close to whatever the voice is for this guy, but whatever. So yeah. So you're gonna head down there and try to talk to him?
Yep.
He kind of gives you, like, so it's kind of hard to see with our floor plan here, but I imagine, here's what I actually imagine. So you know what? Let's clone this. And we'll put this one here. Then change the color to something like that. Then we're gonna name it Professor Grimaldi. Actually, I think he actually really prefers to be called Dr. Grimaldi. Alright. So he is in this little, like, it kind of looks like it's a common area. I really hope that's not meant to look like a bathroom. Now think about it. Alright, fuck it, he's over here. He's actually kind of like, I don't want to say he's hiding, but he's definitely in the back and trying to stay a little bit out of sight because he's on his link, and he's like, God, if it was a laptop, he'd be furiously typing, but he's not on a laptop. He's on a little link device, so kind of like a tablet. So he's like busily working at it, actively working at it, looking like he's trying to figure something out. So he's not really, like, he's cognizant of you being there, but he's not really recognizing you being there.
Okay.
That was a
Well, I'm
really
going to get
long way
right
to
up.
explain that. I'm sorry.
I'm going to get right up close to him so he knows very well I have something to ask him.
Here, let's do this. Let's clone this guy again. And we're gonna name this one Milligan, only because I think this is funny, but also helpful to the point. So let's go put you right here.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Now make them kiss.
Not gonna do that, man. Come on. All right. I see you wanted to put him even closer. Yeah. So you get pretty much almost literally in his face, or you're just standing there, definitely within arm's reach, kind of sighing heavily.
I'm not sighing. I'm just looking at him. You know, I'm not looking around. I'm looking straight at him.
I imagine you want something from me. Mind you, I want to remind everybody real quick. He has that weird Italian Scottish accent. So I don't know what that would sound like, but it comes out what he says is something to the effect of, I imagine you want something from me.
I said, indeed. I said, you probably know by now, Professor Steiner. Is
Struer.
it Steiner?
Struer.
Struer. Tried to access the garage. I don't understand why. Not sure you can provide me any insight on that, but he is still alive, and we are tasked with retrieving you all. So I'm going to try to capture him.
Oh, okay. So first, when you're like, it's obvious he's alive, he kind of tosses the tablet down onto the table there. And then when you say capture, whatever he was about to say suddenly changes, and he gets this kind of a hard look. He's like, capture is so, I almost want to say so inappropriate, but I don't want to give the wrong tone here. Capture seems incredibly excessive.
No, excessive would be shooting him because somebody's printed a red band object on the
But that
fabricator.
red band object could be something as simple as a rebreather fitted for an inappropriate atmosphere.
And it could be, but yet we're here and we're responsible for all of y'all and your safety.
Are you
So,
going to capture all of us to maintain control as well? We've got something like 30, and he actually looks at the tablet that he just tossed on the what you call it on the table, and he's like, we got like, I don't know, 32 hours before the sun comes up again. I hear
and what do
you
you
laugh.
suggest?
I hear you laughing because suddenly the tables have turned.
Right. And what do you suggest, I say? Leave him here to die?
No, absolutely not.
Then what do you suggest?
He's not going anywhere. He can't go anywhere. We'll know if he leaves, and he's only going to be able to go so far anyway. It's a wonder he survived the storm in the first place. He'll
Exactly.
come.
He could die at any moment out there. What I'm saying is if he tries to access the facility again in a surreptitious way,
You're going to
not through the
jump
front
him
door,
and zip tie him and throw him in a broom closet?
if that's what we need to do, if
Don't
he's,
think that's
you know,
necessary.
well, we don't know that yet. I'm not going to do anything physical to him
I'm sorry, but zip
without
tying and broom
having.
closet seems awfully physical.
Okay, you suggested that, not me.
Wow, wow, get that out of here.
But if he tries to sneak in here again and he is confronted and he is aggressive, then that's exactly what needs to happen.
I've been trying to contact him, and he motions at the tablet that he's kind of
Right.
tossed up in
And did he
frustration.
respond?
I haven't been able to get a hold of him. I don't know why. Listen,
Right.
don't read
Okay.
into that. He was out there for hours. God knows what happened to him. He could just have a busted link. Maybe that's why he was trying to get in through some other means because the door wouldn't recognize him.
Well, I'm not
There's a
here.
plot hole.
I'm not here just to talk about flowers. Okay. We are
Well, I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I got
responsible for everyone's safety here. We are supposed to bring everyone home. Whatever's going on isn't normal. Can you agree to that?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I can agree to that. Struber
So
should have just
he's
come in the front door, and I don't know why he hasn't.
exactly. So that raises my suspicions. It may not raise yours, but you have a different perspective on this than I do.
Listen, I came
I
down
have
here
a
because I
different
needed a
goal
moment to
than
think.
you do.
Your goals are fine. Your goal is to get us all home. That's exactly my goal. But what I'm curious about is why Struer's not coming up on the. He would not say "come up on the net." That's a military phrase. He would say something about why he's not responding to hails or some shit like that. I don't know why he didn't walk in the front door. I don't know why he tried to go in through the garage. Grendel says he's here in the station, but he's not answering, and I can't find him on any of the internal. I almost said cameras. Oh, fuck it. They're just cameras or some sort of indoor security sensor suite. Something for, something a school would have in place for help keep accountability of students and make sure they don't wander off or get lost or head counts, that sort of thing. Not necessarily surreptitious, unauthorized surveillance, but you know where I'm going with that. The local ring contract.
So Grendel thinks he's in the facility now.
Grendel says he is. Yes, Grendel. Where is Professor Struer? And Grendel is not responding.
That's why I just look at him like,
yeah. No, there's a look on Grimaldi's face as well. Like, okay, way to put me on the spot, you stupid computer. And he's definitely even more confused. And he grabs the tablet again, and he starts trying to, function this and F something that and whatever. And like he's pulling up, you could see, like he's not hiding it or anything, but you don't have the best view. But what he's trying to do is he's going through all the different cameras he can access. He's trying to cue Grendel, but Grendel's not responding again. all of that, and he's just like, this makes absolutely no sense. Grendel says he's here. We had what's the word I'm looking for? Structural integrity warning for the garage is now sealed again. Your people sealed it, yes?
Yep.
Okay. No other alarms have gone off. Where is he? And why is Grendel not answering? Grendel! Grendel? And I don't know where on this map exactly Grendel is. He's probably, I'm going to assume maybe he's in logistics? I've literally looked in the book and it never said exactly where he is.
Now, like I said before, if it's like a spaceship, it may be throughout the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, and it could, you're right, it could be dispersed, but somewhere has got to be like the primary hard drive or
You'd think, yeah.
whatever computer term that I can't think of. Or maybe it's in the lab.
server room.
The server room, thank you. Actually, you know what kind of looks like a server room? None of these rooms I'm looking at.
That.
Where?
Somewhere in the logistics, somewhere in here, I would say. Let's just say it's there.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's go with in here is a couple of servers for tying all the information together. Yeah, so I think at this point Grimaldi's gonna stand up from the chair he's been sitting in this whole time and grab up his tablet, and he's gonna start making his way back up into the main corridor because he's got to figure out what in the shit is going on with Grendel.
Okay.
Unless you, of course, are gonna try to stop him or something.
Oh, I'm gonna zip tie him and put him in a closet. Yeah. No. I'm just gonna, gently remind him that the more forthcoming he is with us, the better we'll be able to care for everybody, and the safer everybody will be.
I think he kind of turns on you, like he does that, like that whirl with almost like an accusatory finger pointed right at you. And you're like, what do you mean forthcoming? I've been forthcoming. What more are you expecting here?
Oh, I mean, to me personally,
I think you insulted him is where I'm going with that.
That's fine. I'm like, to me personally, I find it a little disconcerting when somebody shuts a door in my face, like they're trying to hide something.
Okay, I'll give you that. And I apologize for that. I was confused when Grendel gave me that alert, and I needed to have that conversation with him without distraction. I needed to confirm that what I was hearing from Grendel was indeed that Sturer was alive. And now that he's alive, and Grendel's not talking to me, I have concerns, and I need to go resolve them. So I would really like to get to it, if you don't mind.
I will let you. Please keep me updated on your progress.
Yeah, okay, so he's going to go wander off into the server room. That's you, sorry.
Yep.
He's going to go
I'm going to go back to the garage.
I'm going to go turn some wrenches because I'm angry at everybody. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to make sure that they swept the vehicles too.
Okay.
And not just the interior of the garage to make sure nobody's hiding in a vehicle.
So they got they got the brooms out of the broom closet before you started locking people in there? That was a bad joke on words. I'm sorry.
So, other than that, I'm going to give everybody else a go here.
Yeah, I was just going to say...
My ultimate plan is if he's still adamant that the computer says that Struer's here, we're going to have to sweep. We're going to have to take one module at a time and go through it with a fine-tooth comb, each one, and post guards at the ones that we've swept and all that kind of stuff. But that's for a little bit later.
Yep. All right. So we have Wiggles currently portraying his character's wife, Alia, or Alicia, or Annabelle, or whatever her name is this week. That's also a joke, by the way. What is Mrs. Wyatt up to at this point in time?
So the work she was doing to prepare for the storm was checking out the life support system for the habitat, and that's what she was doing. So she has unaware of the fact that a possible pentapod person has entered the base.
No, but I love the paranoia, and I'm gonna allow it. Please continue.
So she's unaware of that. So until she's been told that something's up and weird, she will continue to do her engineering stuff to make sure this habitat place doesn't kill us during the storm. That seems like that seems important. We can deal with.
You guys have watched way too many bullshit sci-fi movies.
We can deal with a pedipod person later on if we need to.
All right. All right.
Look,
So we
I'm
have.
gonna tout such a long "I told you so" if it turns out this guy is a pedipod person, because
Oh,
That's
I
gonna be
fucking
hilarious.
called it.
I don't even know what a
Nice.
pedipod person would be.
All right.
It's a
So
person. It's a pedipod shaped as a person.
the pentapod impersonating people. That's wow.
Yeah.
That was a
100%.
lot of P sounds. All right. So just to clarify, you are in the habitat modules, going over the life support systems and troubleshooting and preventive maintenance, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That takes
That's
us
what I'm doing.
to
Not
Charles.
Hellwig.
Yeah.
Hellwig's on Beowulf.
Yeah, Hedwig is on Beowulf enjoying beers and
so
not
is my
being in
wife.
space.
yep. So I'm portraying any one of the three troopers, Blaine.
Yeah, I'm setting their little dealies up right now, actually.
Yeah. So, so the first thing out of Blaine's mouth to the other two is, that we've secured the garage and we've scared the living daylights out of ourselves. Let's make sure that the vehicles are still secure, and go sweep them.
I think
and
I think Spearman almost immediately, as soon as you say sweep, is like, you mean like with a broom?
and I'm gonna look at. She's just gonna look at him, with the dad over the glasses look, and just
Don't even say shit. You just give him that look, and Spearman's like,
yeah,
never mind.
yep.
He's,
The-
I think,
and
I
then-
think Spearman is like internally, he's like, I know that look. I fucked up.
And she's gonna turn around and loudly say, "What these stupid waka waka jokes? I'm gonna just buy a bet." And
Yeah, so Spearman is definitely gonna wander off and go sweep this area of the fucking garage by himself. He's like, nope.
and I'm gonna look back at Spearman and say, "The vehicle.
Well, there's two of them.
Is this the vehicle?"
He's gonna go and sweep this area. Actually, no, he's gonna do this. So the two vehicles, there's like, say there's one over here and one over here.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
gonna go sweep this area. He's gonna post up in this area here. We can see both the walk-through doors and the
Right.
roll-up door in between, in front of the two vehicles, because I imagine they're
Okay.
like somewhat backed into here.
Right. And then I'm gonna walk over to Aiello and just tell him to do the same thing, and then just tell me if you see anything. And then as soon as they're done with that, I'm just gonna tell Aiello to kind of do the same thing. It's like just secure the garage and make sure that nothing else comes in, goes out this way.
How about I
and-
post up like here, and where I can see the back of the vehicles and the stairs going up
Perfect.
to the door.
Perfect. Nice job thinking tactically.
Yeah. Yep. What is this?
And then
Oh, that's Milligan.
she,
What is this?
she's gonna go
Oh,
go
that's-
across the station comms and call for Milligan and ask that we haven't found anything inside of the vehicle bay. Where do you want us to go next?
Hugh Milligan.
All right. So I'll tell. This is Blaine.
If you
Yeah.
hover over it, you'll see the
Okay.
name pop up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will tell Blaine to post one trooper in the garage. Just put them on the landing there at the top of the stairs. They
Okay.
should be able to see the whole bay from there.
And then I'm gonna list
Um,
the spearman and just point.
Which one
and
do you
then
want up
bring
there?
the
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
Spearman.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I'm like, and then bring the other one to the end of the hall. We're gonna have to start doing unit by unit sweep.
Okay. And then I'm gonna look at Aiello and just say, "Stick to me like the friends with a shield, and let's get going."
Oh my god. You had to throw that in there. Fuck you, Charles. I hate you. Charles, of course, is pulling the inside joke from a couple weeks ago, one of my other shows, where a friend is welcome at the shield. Alright. Aiello is gonna go up here. And then we got Spearman as well. And Milligan, you go ahead and move yourself as well. Where
Okay. I'm talking the far end down here.
you want to? Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna start down here and move
Also,
up
Charles,
forward.
no offense when I said that.
No, I get it. I get it.
So you're gonna start down there.
Yeah.
All right. Now I will have one question, and I'll probably have more as I think of them. After doing these sweeps, like how tactical? Because I mean, obviously the troopers have their rifles and their combat vac suit. I don't know what specifically that would be, but just for the sake of argument, combat vac suit. They have their suits on, but their helmets are racked, or uh, they're not wearing their helmets. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think of the word. Like their helmets are shouldered or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're basically in the suit, but the helmets are kind of off and either dangling off of a secure thing or kind of flip back.
Oh yeah, like back in the day we would hang our Kevlar helmets off the fucking canteen on our kidneys.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
So
Mall store tactical. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So Hab Module 1 is where all the students and everybody are, right?
Yeah, for the most part, all the students and Grimwaldy would be. You also have Price and Burnham, which are the two guys that came out to the landing area when you guys first arrived. They're pretty much just like kind of in chill mode down in the first floor, in fact. And actually, let me go ahead and give me two more of these fuckers. First things first, change their color to that color. You know what I should have done? I'll do that. There we go. Yes. All right, cool. Price. And Burnham. And these two they're pretty much like, they're basically napping. They're not like full on rocked out napping or sleeping, but they've actually taken over one of these beds down in the end. Not adjacent, because why would they be? But yeah, they're totally like boots off, feet kicked up. One of them might have like a book or a tablet or something like that. Who else did we have in the? Oh, that was it. Castruer and then the professor and then those two knuckleheads. Okay.
Okay.
Well, there's Evan Grace. There's like four others, I think.
There was. I don't have that file open, but I think there was something like 6 students, and then the two teachers and the 2 others that were staff. But I'm going off the top of my head without looking at it.
Yeah, there's Grimaldi and Struer, and then there's Price and Burnham, and then there's Evan Grace, who's a mechanic, and then there's a bunch of students: Jezebel Harrington, Coleman Holmes. I can't even read that one. Something Von Morris.
What was the mechanic's name?
Mechanic's name was Evan Grace. Mechanic and environmental systems tech.
Okay, yeah, he is actually going to be in the. He's in the lab. He's trying to clean up some of the shit down on the bottom level, like where a lot of the water and stuff like that collected, and then debris and whatnot. He's down there trying to clean that shit up.
And then there was Rita and Albrecht, the 2 people wearing the breather mask.
Now I gotta start creating fucking students. Okay, all right, we could do this. How many students were there?
Well, there's counting 6? The dog.
Well, there's
6 right. Counting the dog.
So 5 and 1.
Yep.
4, 6. Okay, dog is going to get its own color. It's gonna be kind of a brownish color. He's a dog.
Hadn't they all been brown?
Yeah, they're already kind of a mustardy brown. Damn it. All right, I guess we'll have to play with the colors a little bit. There we go. That doesn't really stand out very well, but all right, this is Albrecht dog. And then we have, who's the dog's handler?
Rita, Rida.
Yeah, Rita something or other. What was her last name?
Potente. Potente.
Potente.
E.
Close enough. All right.
Potente
Or we get
or potent, whatever it is.
change these guys all to
Maybe it's
do
fine.
that. I don't know about you guys. That stands out a little bit to me between the doctor and the dog and the students. So, all right. So we got Rita, who's the next student. I know we have a Janice, spelled with a Y, I think.
Genus or yeah, GENYS.
Yep.
Alpha 5 is her last name. I don't know what's up with that, but we can talk about
I
that later.
think it has something to do with
That
cloning.
makes
There's a
yeah, probably
Jezebel
so.
or something like that.
There is a Jezebel, yeah, Jesbel,
Jasbl.
Jes Jezebel.
I did Jezebel once.
And then we have two male students. I don't remember
Yep.
the names.
It's Coleman without an E, Holmes,
Coleman Holmes.
and this other one looks like Rodrigo Van Morris. Yeah.
Rodrigo. All right.
Yeah.
Now these guys, unless they get tasked with anything, are basically going to be hanging out in. I think actually she is. You know what? I think Rita is going to be up here with her dog, and her little dog too. They're going to be doing some sort of cleanup stuff because they're kind of bored. They don't know what else to do. And we've got like a couple of students chilling out over here, maybe playing some cards or something. We got this one is definitely sleeping, like legit knocked the fuck out. This one over here is just reading some text or something. All right, I think we got more or less everybody here.
Okay. So I'm just going to suggest to Blaine, I say softly,
Hmm.
can you go and talk to the civilians, the students, explain to them that we may have a little security issue, that we're going to be performing a sweep. As part of the sweep, we're going to have to dress the part, so don't be scared if you see us, fully decked out. It's for everybody's safety. I don't imagine what we're looking for is in this hat. That's why I wanted to start here first anyway. I said, but what we're doing is we're looking for Professor Struer.
Looking for the lost professor.
Right, right.
Why
The
does it sound
computer,
like Gilligan's Isle all of a sudden?
and you can go ahead and tell them that at last check, the computer indicated that he was here in the facility. And so we're just trying to find him so that we can get him out with the rest of y'all. Be as nice as you can to them about it. Try not to, raise their hackles or anything like that. And then come back and let us know. And then y'all can go ahead and, do your sweep of this unit. I'm going to stay posted up in the hallway here because I have eyes on all the doors between the units.
And the airlock.
Right. So also I want to know how much time is left before that pentapod should be knocking again.
Oh God, I never did establish a time.
You said every 7 hours,
Yeah,
but I
it's
have
every
no
7
idea how long
hours.
it's
Yeah.
been.
Well, that
Yeah.
and I never did clearly denote what time it was when he did. So, did he knock on the airlock like right after the storm started or something like that?
Well, we kind of
Yeah, he
overlooked
did.
him on the way in. I guess we all had our heads down because of the wind.
Yeah, 'cause
And
nobody
yet, very
because
shortly thereafter, he knocked on the door.
yeah, because nobody noticed him because the GM forgot to mention him. So nobody noticed him. Yeah, everybody had their heads down because of the wind or what have you. Let me see my little timeline notes. So the storm started at roughly 11 o'clock on the 28th, Universal Standard Time. 3 hours later was when what's his name broke the seal or whatever, and Grendel said, "Hey, Struer's back." What? And then so let's say let's just say 12 o'clock ish. So that means you've got a few hours yet before he's knocking on the door looking for more dead bodies.
Okay.
In his
I want to
weird
be
way.
close to the airlock around that time.
Okay. 12. So actually, no, you've got 12 o'clock. It would be at 1900. Okay. Or thereabouts. I'm updating my little timeline thingy.
Oh, hi,
Right.
Tail Chaser.
That doesn't even sound close. Okay, all right. So we're doing some sweep and clears. No, that's aggressive. We're doing some casually strolling through these areas with weapons hanging loosely.
Yeah, we're just gonna go knock on their eye, verify the bodies or the persons are in there, and then just say, hey, we're just verifying because we heard that the professor's back, and that's about it.
Okay.
Well, this needs to be a good sweep. We need to be looking in wherever a person could be,
Right.
under a bed or in a broom closet or whatever. So
All right. So let's say,
Right.
for the
Right.
sake of argument, barring any sort of interruption or incident or what have you, probably about a 5 to 10 minutes per module. Does that sound about right? Based on we determined each square is roughly 3 feet or 1.5 meters, correct? Or
should
5
be
feet
Yeah.
and 1.5
1.5 meters.
meters.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's usually the standard for uh, traveler floor plans is 1 meter, or 1 square is 1.5 meters.
1.5.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I'll just say it. Like, you spend probably the next couple of hours gradually making your way through one module at a time, being about as thorough as you can without being invasive. You're obviously
We're
not
gonna.
looking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to wait to do the logistic module last, simply because that's where Grimaldi is, unless he comes out of there in the meantime.
Okay, yeah, no, he does come out. But let me get to that in just a second.
Okay.
Is the air getting thin? What the fuck? Yeah.
Um,
So it takes probably about an hour to 2 hours. Because the hab modules, you figure out a routine pretty easy because the floor plan is more or less the same, right? You got basically bunks and whatever, and a couple of wall lockers. Then you get to the other hab module, and it's just a couple beds and rooms and whatever. When you get into logistics, it gets a little bit more tedious. But by the time you do get there, where is Milligan? By the time you do get there, Mr. Milligan, Grimaldi has come out and he says, "Okay, I think I got the computer up and running. I don't know what exactly happened. The 2300 equivalent of a blue screen of death, which is really, 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 really weird for this kind of a computer, being a bit more advanced and whatnot than our typical computers. But BSOD happens. The computer says Stirrer's here, but he's not able to give me a clearly defined location. And he says this last part kind of loud, as though he's talking directly to the computer. He's like, "This is very," he wouldn't swear, "this is very irregular, Grendel." I see Wiggles is getting bored. He's just all over the screen.
I quickly asked him, I said, is there any device that could be here in the facility that Grendel is picking up to make it think that Struer is here?
I mean, we
and
have.
and then
Go ahead.
Blaine's gonna look at Milligan and just go, "Oh yeah, I remember those. We used to have those on the ship, but in the uniform, so I could easily call them up and at least recognize what hole and spot. There was usually like either a bracelet or a necklace that we all had to wear."
Yeah, and Grimaldi is going to be like, "Yeah, no, because we come up here for extended periods of time, they've given us all dermal injections." So, and he shows like his left forearm, and you could see where there's a small part where it's raised.
Crap.
So,
Right.
the staff have these injected I'm not a doctor, so bear with me. Like, these are permanently installed because they come
Right.
up here regularly. The students have a more temporary one. It's not quite as deep or quite as well rooted. No puns. Because they can have theirs removed when they get back after they spend their. I'm gonna say it's roughly 6 months that they stay up here, but because Grimaldi and the others come up and stay up for 6 months and then come back 12 months later for another 6 months, they have the more permanent version. So, to answer your question, Mr. Milligan, if Grimaldi's device is in here, his tracker, or whatever you want to call it, was in here, but he wasn't, that is even more disconcerting than Struer simply trying to play cat and mouse with us, which, and I want to point out, Struer playing cat and mouse with us is also highly irregular. About as irregular as a computer that refuses to work with me.
And I just nod through his whole conversation here. I'm like, yep.
That's the sound of blocks being
You're
checked.
catching on. You're catching on. Yeah. It is weird. So, all right. I tell him at this point we're what, about halfway done with our sweep?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you've got the two hab modules in the lab. The habs and lab are done. Logistics you haven't done yet, but also you knew what's his name was in there, so probably wanted him to finish doing whatever shiesty shit he was doing. Not that he was doing it.
I just wanted him to have the privacy that he felt like he needed.
Well, he had gone in there, and he had told you too. Like he'd gone in there to troubleshoot. Basically he had to reboot Grendel, which takes some time because this is not just a computer.
Right.
It's effectively a VI. That took some time, and then he had to troubleshoot and run through the codes to see what caused the problem, and he can't figure it out. Then he obviously was trying to make attempts to get in contact with Struer, but again, nothing. And then wondering why the computer's not giving him a straight answer as to where Struer is.
How much computer skill does I can't even, Alia have?
Wiggles?
I'm sorry, one more time.
How much computer skill would she be useful to check the computer to see if it's had some kind of incursion or malware or whatever? Because it shouldn't be messing up the way it's messing up.
Let's go check her skills. Let's go check her skills. Let's go check her skills, because I don't remember. She has computers too.
Okay, that's
Okay.
one better than me.
Yeah.
All right. So I asked Grimaldi, I said, would you mind if our chief engineer took a look at Grendel to see if they could, detect the reason for this outage?
You hear kind of like I'll say
Gren-
loudspeaker. It's more of a PA system, I guess is a more accurate way to describe it. So you hear over the PA system, this is Grendel, who is attempting to intrude.
I'm sorry. Apparently,
I'll
I'm not
say
so great.
Professor Struer tried to gain access to the unit through the garage. You claim he's still on site.
Professor Struer
But
is currently located in the Llewellyn station, yes.
Where in the station?
Searching.
Come on, you stupid computer.
Right.
Wait, do you
And that's
actually...
the problem, Grendel.
Does one of the troopers actually say that?
Right.
Yes.
No,
Blaine
wait,
actually
no.
just.
Are you saying?
Okay, give me a second. Let me stop laughing at this scenario.
Are you guys saying that the lost team member came back?
No, the computer's saying that he's actually still here in the facility when
But, like,
we didn't catch sight of him at all.
Like he never left?
No, like he did, like he got back in through the garage, but we scrambled as soon as the alarm went off.
Searching.
Yeah, no.
Searching.
Yeah.
Like
Searching.
those, like it's been hours. I mean, like suits can only carry like a max of like 5 hours. It's like,
Right.
is one the person for the station with us?
Grimaldi is standing right here.
Yeah.
So,
Is that your question?
what are your guys? Yeah. So, how much air do you guys generally take when you do excursions?
Well, it depends mostly on what the excursion's purpose is, but in this
Okay.
particular case, we
For
were
this case,
we were planning a 6 to 8 hours. So let me rephrase. Let me back up a little bit. So when they went out, they had something like 10 hours of air. They were only out for roughly 6. When the storm hit and lasted.
I think when we got here, it had been like 36 hours, hadn't it?
I don't remember if I said that. That seems like a bit much because like the damage
Okay.
was still effectively being assessed. Like they
Okay.
had set up the jury rigged the power out of the utility vehicle or the Grendelborn, one of the two, right? Because they lost power from the power station. They hadn't done like all the repairs, so like it had been at least a couple of hours that the storm lasted, and then maybe an hour or so afterwards. Long and story short is like Grimaldi explains the timeline, like the rough timeline, and physically speaking, it should not be possible that Struer still has hair.
So I asked him, with other facilities that you have here, like the communications building, are there any supplies that somebody outside could be using to prolong their stay outside?
That's possible. The comms dome would have an emergency kit, but that wouldn't give more than maybe a couple of hours of air. But it might have been enough to get, if Struer was knocked out of the, he wouldn't say out of the fight. If Struer was rendered unconscious or otherwise disabled, and he woke up before his suit ran out of air, he could have theoretically gone to the comm station, switched out with the emergency kit, come to this station, and then just start recharging. But again, we're back to the same scenario of like, why is he not answering up?
That's a lot of knife edges to be juggling in order to make that work.
Mhm.
That's also a fair point. I'm just simply trying to put this together as logically as I possibly can with the possible, Jesus Christ, with the possible scenario of possibilities. My God.
Hey,
We're
Grendel.
trying to piece all this together too. Yeah, Grendel can stop at search at this point.
Yeah, well, Grendel
No.
has stopped. And Grimaldi
Yeah.
does point out once again that, yeah, I don't understand why he's not answering this query, and nothing I see in the log is giving me an answer.
Hey, Grendel.
that's-
Can you tell when members for this expedition are outside the hab? Like, do you have sensors for that, or do you only tell when they're inside the hab?
I have a record of when people enter or exit, i.e., when they pass through a sensor ring at the exterior, at the airlock.
Okay. So if his suit is outside, you wouldn't be able to detect that?
Would not. The delay in
Alright,
that answer was me, by the way, not Grendel. That was me running through a quick, like, would it? But no, the answer you get is negative. It would not be able to tell the difference.
Alright, so it's not okay. So my thought was the wind just freaking tossed his body out at the base. But if the hab can't detect it outside, that I guess that nullifies that possibility.
I think what it boils down to is that there is a sensor in the airlock that registers when the individual tracker devices enter, or basically when they pass through. And one could, if they wanted to sift through the log, figure out that so-and-so left and so-and-so returned later, so-and-so left, so-and-so returned later. But of course, when there's something like 10 people, it's not that hard to have a good head count. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like
Okay,
it's not like they're trying to keep track of 57 people. It's just 10 and a dog.
That's huh. Yeah, no, I guess I could run the sensors and the computer through a diagnostic just to see what's up with that. I mean,
Yeah. Because it's a problem that Grendel says emphatically that he's here, but can't tell us where.
Grendel speaks up right then when you say emphatically and says, I am a computer. I am incapable of true emotions. I can only emulate them.
Ah, but you can give emphasis.
I can.
I'm arguing with the computer now.
You are. And the computer has a sense of humor.
I said, but is it not incorrect that you would say that he's here and yet be unable to say where he is?
I have records showing that he has returned to the station. I cannot currently locate his actual position within the station.
Could that be because he left in a method that wasn't by one of the sensors?
Professor Struer left the airlock with the rest of the party that departed prior to the Tempest striking.
And he returned when?
Approximately X amount of time ago. At this point, probably
Okay.
like an hour
The
ago.
incursion? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
hey,
Yeah.
Grendel, do you have access to the comm station's emergency O2 supply? Can you tell whether or not that's been used?
The emergency kit is not monitored by this station.
Yeah.
By
All
station, he means it. It means itself or the computer. So basically, and Grimaldi will explain too. Basically, it's a kit kept inside the comms dome as a holy shit. I'm about to run out of air. I need to get a bottle in me. That
Okay.
sounded horrible, but I think
Hey,
you get the
Grendel,
idea.
gonna
Hey,
run you
Google.
through some diagnostics just to check out what's happening.
I'm trying to figure out how Grendel would respond to that. I think Grendel
Is
would first.
Grimaldi okay with it?
Yeah, I think ultimately Grendel would be like, Dr. Grimaldi, what are your feelings on this? And Grimaldi, listen, as a GM, one thing I don't want to do is have two NPCs have a conversation with each other. so basically Grendel's like, Dr. Grimaldi, are you cool with this? And Grimaldi's like, yeah, you're not giving me any straight answers. And he's kind of got a little bit of lip to it when he answers. And Grendel's like, hi, Mrs. Wyatt, I suppose you may look under the dress.
That's one way to put it. I would not put it that way myself, but okay.
I couldn't think of any other way to put it.
I have one last question. I don't know why I just thought about this. I asked Grendel, have you had any contact with the pentapod outside?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm trying to think like.
I'm talking about like on the computer level, like you tried to remote in or whatever.
Because Grendel isn't necessarily like a security or tactical computer that would recognize intrusions in that sort of way. Because basically Grendel is supposed to be effectively a research assistant type of computer. Encyclopedia Britannica in a box, if you would, and then on top of that, I'm not even sure if Grendel would be aware that there's a pentapod outside unless somebody told the computer, hey, by the way, there's a pentapod outside. Because it wouldn't even register necessarily that a pentapod walked in because the pentapod doesn't have the tag. Exactly. So this isn't like a ship's computer that could just arbitrarily pick up all sorts of things because there's all sorts of security suites.
Yeah. I do ask him, I say, when was your software last updated?
My software was last updated whenever this current expedition began. And then and then God damn it. And then it would also list a few patches and or updates that were periodically sent via the comms array. And to re-clarify or revisit that just for a second so people know what we're talking about, the atmosphere of the planet is in the storms really makes it difficult to communicate off planet. So what they do is they have a satellite in orbit, and when it has line of sight to the ground comm station, it can then either send or receive information between Grendel and Beowulf so that when there's a computer update, it can be sent up to the satellite. The satellite holds it until it's overhead again. It sends it down. The comms data gets into the computer updates. Or comms traffic, radio messages, letters home, TV shows, GTL updates. GTL being the Greyland Trios League, by the way. Plugging my own shit unselflessly.
So I asked Grendel, I said, do you have the times recorded for when the comm station ceased functioning?
That's a good question.
Grimaldi knows.
Yeah, Grimaldi would have a rough idea of when, he wouldn't tell you the exact second that the stone hit the comms array and knocked it out, but the computer would register when the comms array, when the ComSat was given the hard reboot because there was no ground signal after so much time.
Right. So I'm just curious if any of the updates that Grendel thinks it's gotten occurred when they didn't have the communications for it to come from the university.
None of the dates or times match up. Like the most recent big file update came like a day or two before the big storm hit.
Okay. I just want to make sure there's not some malware or programming changes or whatever that
like somebody uploaded a virus.
Right, something. or just new software, new programming. Who knows?
Right.
Anyway, all right.
Malware.
So we'll let
Malware.
Alia take over.
Yeah, Alia, what are you doing?
Well, she's going to run the computer through the diagnostic steps, so and check out the sensors for the data entry logs. That's what she's doing.
All right, you're checking the sensors for what exactly again? I missed part of that.
Making sure it's all operational and that it's all working. She's just making sure that the computer is functioning within,
Okay.
how it's
The computer's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Go ahead and give me a computer's something or other roll.
education.
Yeah, give me education. We have a total of like
11.
Yeah, so what you get is that first off, everything seems to be working exactly as intended according to the lines of code and the reports that you're getting back for the various diagnostic checks. Everything is working as the way it's supposed to be. What you additionally receive is that you do have the sensor log, or whatever you want to call it, for when presumably Struer re-entered the station initially at the garage, but he almost like so you get like the log of by second of when these different things happen. So what you see is Struer enters the garage. 2 or 3 seconds later, he exits the garage and enters undefined. And what you get with there's a code, I'll say, that goes next to that undefined. So it'd be like undefined, and then in parentheses, code 12XL. And what that code eventually tells is that Struer's tracker is detected within the physical confines of Llewellyn Station, but it cannot correlate that information with Struer entering either through the airlock or through the garage. I.e., he must have entered some other part of the station through some other means that was not monitored by the head count tracker thingy.
Is there like a camera by the garage doors that I can like get footage of?
Yes. Because we definitely established that there are cameras. The reason for my delay on answering that is whether or not Grendel would have that sort of access, considering the purpose of Grendel being a research assistant type. But I think ultimately there would be some sort of communication between the security sensor, keep track of everybody so we don't lose anyone stuff, and the research stuff. So yeah, it takes a second or two longer than anticipated, but the computer is able to pull up the video of the garage doors opening, Struer coming in. Literally a second or two later, he goes right back outside and doesn't quite close the door enough so that the wind catches it, rips it open.
Huh. So I definitely see someone in a vac suit. So I'm sorry. Do I clearly see Stewart not wearing a vac suit, or do I just see like the vac suit?
He's wearing. So you see. So he's in the same type of hazardous environment suit that everybody else has been wearing. So like it matches in that regard. You don't get a clear face shot, but you do see like the name tag on his chest plate, and it says J. Struer. I think his name's Jason. I'm pretty sure it is.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah, his name is Jason.
All right, and then my next step is I am going to look at the life support rating of the base to see if it's a. I know how many people are inside the base consuming oxygen. Right.
Yeah.
So then the oxygen and the CO2 and all that stuff has to be monitored, right?
Yep. I know where you're going with this. You're trying to see where is some CO2 being expelled that otherwise shouldn't be based on where you can see everybody at.
I mean, that's definitely a step I was going to take. The first step I was going to take to see whether or not I'm seeing oxygen usage, CO2 usage as expected with the numbers, and then see where it's where that's happening.
So what you can tell is that, and I won't have you make a roll for this because I feel like this is something you could easily just pull up on the computer without too much difficulty. just a regular system status check or whatever. So you do see that the oxygen CO2 conversion rate is equivalent to what would be expected for everybody on the station, including Stewart. What you can't get is a location or localization of where exactly each person is based on the airflow in and out of their body. I.e., what I mean is you can track how much oxygen and carbon dioxide there is and all that stuff, right? But you can't pinpoint where a person is based on that information. You just know that you have so much oxygen and you have so much carbon dioxide, and the flow between those two matches with however many people we have here. 15 people or whatever it is. And I'm laughing because he's literally fucking Clue running his piece up and down the stairs. I'm sorry. Please continue.
So I did the diagnostic on the computer. The computer seems to be working fine. So I'm gonna flash some security footage of the garage door. You can clearly see that the VAG suit bearing Stewart's name enters the garage and then leaves the garage. He also seems
Hey, Wiggles.
yeah. Am I picking up a lot of wind?
I was gonna say you're getting something on the line. I don't know if your connection was loose or something.
Yeah, it just got like super windy.
Okay.
Let me close my window.
Yep.
Is that better?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Okay. I lost my place. What was I talking about?
You're basically back briefing, I believe, Milligan. The computer is doing
Right,
what it's
right.
supposed to do. Something. Dark side has cookies.
Yeah, and then the security footage, and you can clearly see the vac suit with Stewart's name on it. He enters the garage and leaves the garage. Then I went ahead and checked the life support system to see how much consumables we're doing right here, and we're currently at a +1. So it would suggest that we have an additional body on board.
Okay. So we haven't finished our
assuming-
sweep yet.
I was gonna say, and I'm assuming Grimaldi is still standing there, because if he is,
I'm not keeping the secret from him. I don't feel there's a reason to.
Yeah, so Grimaldi's like, well, that would make sense with Stewart being inside the station.
Right. But I got an XL12 error, which according to your man pages means that he ran to the base through a non-standard threshold of some sort.
What?
So what? Yeah, no, and so he entered the base, but he entered the base through the one authorized door.
He entered
So what that says
through one
to
of the
me
holes
is
that we didn't quite patch up.
Maybe he might have found loose paneling on the other side of one of the halves and entered through there. So he might be in the ductwork area, like in the utility spaces for the halves.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to ping where you wrote. He's in the ducts.
Mhm.
Sorry. Please
I
continue.
called it.
No, that wasn't me, the GM, saying that. That was me, the showrunner, being a jackass. Please continue, Wiggles.
No, I think that's a logical follow through based upon information given.
No, it is. Absolutely, it is.
At which Blaine's just gonna go. We swept the whole thing. We don't see anybody. She says she doesn't say that. She says, then the stupid computer keeps saying there's something here. Then we have a problem, and the only way I know how to fix this problem at this point is with the high application of or the judicial application of kinetic violence.
Who are you?
I'm like,
Wait,
whoa.
hold on. Nobody's shooting anybody. Why do we need
The computer's wrong. Shoot the computer.
Grendel. At this point, Grendel's gonna be
doing-
like, "Why would you shoot me? That makes absolutely zero sense."
No, I checked on the
I
computer.
have
It's
7 different
operating
theories
within-
that make more sense than you shooting me. I don't know.
No,
I don't know if
by
Grendel would
now
say. Go ahead, Wiggles.
No, by now I would say that Stewart is actively avoiding us. I think our due diligence would be to state, loudly for everyone inside the base that we're leaving X amount of time and he's welcome to come with us. But if he doesn't, I think we're fine.
And At which Blaine then goes, "Do we have an intercom system here? Because I think we should just start.
We
Grendel,
could reach for him on the link.
every hour on the hour, making a message. We're leaving in X amount of, have a countdown."
At this point, Grendel would speak up and be like, I can set a timer. Is there a specific message you would like it to say? And what is the time interval in which it is said?
I don't know, once an hour, I guess. That so we're leaving when the storm breaks, all right? Because there's no point in staying here any longer.
The storm is expected to break sometime before local midnight. However, local air conditions will disallow, I don't know if disallow is a word, will not allow you to depart because your ship will be covered literally in ice.
Yep.
After sunrise, which is in about, and then it kind of does a quick little calculation sound. Let me look at my notes here. Roughly 36 hours, and that's me saying literally roughly 36 because I'm not trying to do all that kind of hard math. Basically, you've got a day and a half until sunrise when your ship will start melting. That sounded wrong. When the ice on your ship starts melting.
Okay. And then I would say, I don't know, let's set it to every 7 hours, right? Let's see if both things knocked out the part of the same thing. And then in the last 10 hours, make it every hour.
It is done. And then Grendel will, you'll hear like a tick, 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 and then Grendel is basically pumps through every PA speaker in the facility, which is basically one on every floor of every hab. Attention, students, facility members, faculty, and others. We will be leaving in 36 hours. If you are intending to come with us, you will need to be at the airlock at such and such time. And that message will repeat for however many hours you said?
Yeah, 7 hours into the last 10 hours, then once an hour.
Okay, yeah. So
we're giving this guy plenty of time to come out of his fucking hiding hole. I don't care if he's in a hiding hole as long as he's not destroying the base.
And at which Blaine's just gonna go, well then me and Iolo are going to just she's gonna air quote with the finger quotes. Patrol the all the base to make sure that nothing happens.
Yeah,
I think Grimaldi will cut in there and be like, you're going to go on patrol of this facility for 35 hours and 42 minutes. Straight.
And I'm gonna look Grimaldi dead in the eye and go, I have no idea what I'm dealing with. I don't want to freeze, B, not breathe, and C, I want to get back on a ship and get back to a real world, not this ice ball.
It's not an ice ball. Okay, I see your point. I think he starts to argue that currently it's not an ice ball. It will be an ice ball, but he's like, fuck it, what's the point of arguing with you about this? This is so beneath both of us.
And let's all move the food into one half. The guy's got to get fucking hungry, right?
Well, I have a question for Alia.
No
probably.
questions, only action.
Can the other modules, can we all move to the hab module, isolate all the other modules, and vent their atmosphere? Or simply isolate them and see in which one the oxygen level starts to drop, other than ours, of course. Is there any way to do that? To pinpoint him at least into a hab? Or if he's not really here at all? Because his chip may be here and he's not. Who knows?
Well,
he may have dug
I think
his
Grimaldi comes in and, well, as a point of order, if his chip was here, we would be able to locate specifically, but for whatever reason, we're not. I may be splitting hairs here. I'm not sure. In regard to the atmosphere, we would be able to vent each individual hab floor by floor from within that hab, or module, rather. I have to caution, I don't know if that's a great idea right now. I mean,
I don't want to suffocate him. That's not my goal. My goal is to flush him out.
No, I get where you're going with it. Excuse me. I get where you're going with this. I wonder if there maybe is a better way that isn't as invasive, intrusive to our equipment and not belongings. The he's concerned about the freaking sofas smelling like methane for the next 40 years or some shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Let's just move all the food from one half to the other one. The guy he's got to get hungry, so he'll have to come
You
to
got
that half for
36
food.
hours to go. Yeah,
Right.
Can you go 36 hours? I can't go 4 hours without eating unless I'm asleep.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
at least like no, don't get me wrong. I'm not eating every 4 hours, but I tell you what happens at about hour 4 is like I should probably eat something soon, and that thought gets
Yeah,
more and
no.
more redundant and just echoes and whatever as time goes by. Anyway,
Look, I'm not terribly convinced that the evidence of the life support suggests that there's an extra body on here. That seems to be true. But he's also actively avoiding this. We're doing due diligence. We're telling him when we're leaving. We'll put all the food in one hab. The guy's welcome to come to us. As long as he's not ruining the hab, I don't think there's any reason to waste the man hours on trying to flush him out.
I think we should post somebody in the hallway just because of its vantage point of being able to look at the access of every hab and the airlock.
Yeah, all right.
But other than that, I say we just, if we're trying to do this with, the tiniest touch possible, we just let the loudspeaker do its message. And if it finally dawns on him, hey, if it's time to go, it's time to go. And if I want to be on that thing, I better be on it because otherwise, I don't think he will make it through the winter. This
Not
planet's
likely.
winter, right?
not this winter that's
And
going to
so
last
we'll
about
just
9
wait
or
and
10
see if he
months.
shows up. I say I do want to do one thing. I said, and this is a humanitarian kind of thing, so you can definitely say no. The storm is raging. The pentapod is outside. I would like to at least give him the option of coming into the airlock.
Oh, I did that. I did that last session. I asked him.
Oh, you did?
Sorry. I asked the Pentapod if he wanted to come inside the garage.
Oh, okay.
As the GM, one, I don't remember that, but I'm pretty sure it did happen. Immaterial. Two, the book doesn't give me any information about the Pentapod. They're just like every 7 hours he knocks on the door. So I'm going to assume that the Pentapod has done whatever he needs to do to stay outdoors, literally
Yeah.
all night, freezing in like negative 50-degree weather, and that's negative 50 centigrade.
Yeah. So last session, I went and talked to the Pentapod.
Yeah.
I told him that like, hey, the human hab's gonna be empty for 18 human months, right? Do you need a ride back to Beowulf? And do you want to come inside our garage?
That's right. I do remember that now. And he had said something to the effect of like, "No, I'll be fine. I have somewhere else to be," or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
No,
what
that's fine. I did inquire, right?
Yeah.
I wanted
No, you did.
Ride was there if they so desired.
Yep. And they have politely declined.
Yep.
They're just going to continue standing outside, one eye watching the door, every 7 hours.
Asking for bodies.
Looking for bodies.
Nobody ever did answer how much was a body worth. Well, what could we get in trade for a body?
The question was asked.
Yeah.
By Grimaldi. I never got an
he
answer.
did too.
Yeah. So in the book, it actually says that one of the students will tell the players that Grimaldi did answer with, "What do you have in trade?"
Right.
But he didn't have a body, so he never got an answer.
Well, it's a curiosity.
One body equals one monkey NFT.
But you want to know. You want to know if it's worth it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Maybe Struer's talked to the Pentapod and it's really worth it, and he's going to try to kill us all and give us all.
I got one. Just to throw a monkey wrench at you guys because you'd like to throw one at me every now and again. The Pentapod is Struer. Struer is the Pentapod.
That's what Wiggles thinks.
I know, right?
I don't care either way. I'm I mean, like I said, Blaine's just kind of getting a little stir crazy.
Yeah.
With the fact that, well, not just that she needs something to do. There's a security risk, right? So her senses are heightened.
Yep.
But everything says that there's not everything's saying there's a security risk, but there's nothing's telling her where to go fix it. And so she's like pacing like a caged big cat.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move Spearman here for just a second, but I think we need to post somebody pretty much. Whoops, that's not a very good spot. At this crossroads here is what I'm trying to do. It's just not cooperating. Anyway, so you can see into the garage. I want to leave that door open so you can see into the garage and everything. Plus, that'll give us a hint if it starts to depressurize or anything like that. Just swap this person out every so many hours, so that everybody else can get rest and all that kind of stuff. And let's just let some time pass, ride this out, let the message keep playing. I am going to offer, at least every time the Pinnipod knocks on the door, the chance for him to get out of the weather,
Yeah.
and
It's
enjoy
the
some
neighborly thing to do.
atmosphere. Right. Because to me, he's also a potential piece of the puzzle. And the closer eye we have on that, the better off we are. So,
Oh, Grendel.
Yes. I don't know
So
how
you
to.
said,
Hang on. Let me think about how Grendel would respond to a non-faculty, non-student. Actually, I think Grendel would you have identified yourself to Grendel if given the opportunity prior to now?
no, I probably would have introduced myself when doing diagnostics and would
Yeah.
explain my certificates.
Yeah, exactly. And so Grendel would come back, yes, Mrs. Wyatt.
So if Jay shouldn't ID tags do come on, if you can, bleh. Let me try that one more time.
Sure.
If Strident's tags do become locatable on the ship, please inform us.
Indeed.
In case that wasn't obvious, because sometimes your computers are like, oh, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I think what you get is like you get a oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I meant to type something next to it. You definitely get a oh god, what's the word I'm going to use here? You get an acknowledgement for that if the tracker is identified, like its location is identified clearly, that notice will be given to the faculty.
All right, that's good enough for me.
is there
I
any
have
place
no
in the
reason-
facility
Oh.
that has historically blocked the transmission from those data chips, like they were talking about in the air ducts or whatever? There's more metal there.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I was busy being a fool on the table like everybody
So-
else.
Have they encountered before issues with people's tracker not functioning properly
Oh, okay,
because of
gotcha.
where they were in the unit? Like if they were in a maintenance area instead of in a main
under
hab or
dead
something like
spots
that.
or low
Yeah,
signal or something.
right.
I think Grimaldi gives you he's not quick to answer. He actually gives us some thought, and the best answer he can give you is kind of a non-committal but fairly certain. None to my recollection have we ever had this sort of a problem before. In fact, he actually kind of goes further, and he's like, I'm actually a little stumped as to how or why Struer's tracker is not reading fully. And when he says fully, he's like, he's not sure if that's really the word he wants to use, because like it registers going through the airlock or authorized entry point, but it's not registering as to its actual location. So even for him, he's that confusion is still there.
Right. Okay. So yeah, like Wyatt said, let's gather up all the provisions into the HAB module. We'll just use one, I guess,
I'm gonna change
since
this.
most people are pretty much settled there anyway.
I'm gonna change this
We're
one
gonna
from
leave.
party to foodstuffs.
Yeah, we're going to leave one guard in the hallway at all times. I'll even take a rotation there. Hey, stop that. That's my cat.
Oh,
Um,
was it your cat being a jerk this time?
I don't know what he's doing. He's gymnasticking back there somewhere.
That's the key.
And when he weighs 19 pounds, that's saying something. So
Oh my god, that's a big kitty.
yeah, he is a big cat. Yeah, so let's hang out in the hab. Let's let some more time tick by. Let's let the loudspeaker do its job. Let's keep an eye on the hallway. If there's anything else behind the scenes that we don't know about that somebody could use, like ducts or maintenance areas or whatever, to move from one hab to the other without the hallway, now would be the time to let us know that.
Well, I think the one thing that you would have to and you could take a look. I won't have you make a roll. There is nothing that you can clearly see without getting into like dismantling shit. So like you
Right.
have these modules that are, I hate to be redundant when I say this, these are literally built modularly. You know,
Right.
like you take one module and you change out most of the interior, and now it's a different kind of a module. So you could see where the different parts and where the different modules would line up and connect with other modules, or like the hallway here. And what you can tell is that, like, when it comes to ventilation ducts or other easy means of getting from one module to another, it's actually kind of limited, because it looks like these modules were actually intended for space station construction or other extreme environment, or obviously in space it's a lack of environment. So they're pretty solid and sound and what's the word, airtight. So the ventilation system themselves, you know, easily can connect from one to the other, but it's also not very big in the way that you can get a person to fit through. And certainly
Okay,
not
that's
a
perfect.
person, and certainly not a person that is wearing a hazardous environment suit.
Right.
Which,
Okay.
granted, he could always take that off, but you have to assume if he's not wearing it, he's probably going to drag it with him just in case.
Yep.
I would, being the,
Right. Because somebody might shut his ear off. I mean,
or like he may have to, like if he's actively trying to avoid you, he may have to leave one module and exit one module and enter at another one, which means he's got to go outside in that non-breathable methane air garbage.
yeah, I'm coming for you, you
Uh-oh.
little turd.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what you're doing, but stop it.
Turd. Sounds like something
All
I'd
right.
say to my kid.
So while that's going on,
Uh-huh.
Blaine's going to basically tell Spearman and Aiello, all right, patrol the hallway, 4-hour shifts, just like we did on the ship with Flex, and you know how to do this. Tactical naps are authorized, and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah,
That was me remembering 24-hour shifts of tactical napping.
yep. And then she's just going to mention that she's going to curl up in the break room, dinner room, whatever, and then just go marching off.
So obviously each floor has these like seating areas. There's no so there's so okay, so Hab module Alpha is, I believe, the faculty,
okay,
and then the other one is for the students. They both kind of have like
okay,
kitchen-esque or kitchen-ish stuff. You guys did move all the food and everything over. And keep in mind too, when you guys first got here, Hab Module 1 was the one that was being used because it was the only module that was getting the full power supply. All the other ones were getting minimal or none because everything was the power module was busted up and everything was slaved off of the utility vehicle or Grendelborn or whatever it was.
right.
So moving into Hab Module 1, as marked on the map, not to be confused with Hab Module Alpha, that still amuses me, I'm sorry, is probably like you said, the smart move or what have you. Damn, I feel like you asked a question and I did not answer it, despite all
No,
that talking.
I was gonna say no. Just so basically, Blaine's gonna like figure out which one of these has like the. I mean, without fully recognizing what it was, but it was like if there was like a kitchenette or something else like where the meals were all held.
Mm-hmm.
And then
A
basically,
galley.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, the galley, yeah.
I didn't see a
And
galley on the map. I was looking for that
Yeah,
earlier.
the closest thing you have is you got like this common area.
okay,
Hang on, I'm sorry. I just heard a thump like outside. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, you have like this common area here. You have a little bit of one here, but I think that's more of like a conference room kind of deal or a classroom sort of thing. And then on the other side, you have this over here. And of course, these are again almost mirrors. You have a little bit of
yep,
a common area there. So there is no, and then you have like prep stations, but there isn't really like straight
right.
up kitchen
So
dining
I
area.
mean, yeah. So they're basically living off of dehydrated rations that are in a reheater or a rehydrator or something like that.
Yeah, they're definitely not getting fresh fruit and veggies all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, yeah. So Blaine just not knowing what else to do tells these two, And then she said, "Put me in the rotation, catch me. We got 36 hours of funness, every 4 hours." And so she goes and finds, and she'll go over here, curl up for the next 4 hours, with laying on her weapon, still in her gear, using the helmet as a pillow,
Yep.
and it's just. I mean, when anybody looks at her, she looks like she's sleeping, but she's very much like hair trigger.
Yeah.
I
have one question. So I'm assuming, and maybe I'm asking everybody at this point. I'm assuming we're all hanging out over here, and then you're going over this way.
Oh yeah. No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
no, I mean if
wherever,
I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just want to make sure I was right.
Yeah. No,
Wherever
wherever the main bodies are.
Okay.
So
all right.
yeah. So she's just gonna find a spot to curl up in a corner, and just, I mean, be kind of small and get some sleep, not take a bed that's not already being used.
All right. I'm gonna put Spearman. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take. Let me do this. I'll take these 4 right here. I'm just gonna set them in there. You guys go ahead and reposition them where you want to. These 2 knuckleheads are gonna be over here now.
Right.
Obviously, somebody's gonna get the mechanic out, and he's gonna go fuck off over there. And then, so we have Spearman on right now.
And then all of a sudden, as Blaine's just kind of the first 2 hours or first hour, she's trying to toss and turn. All of a sudden, her brain ticks over and goes, and basically calls Milligan up and goes, "We got the Neo Dog. Why don't we use the Neo Dog?"
I don't know anything about Neo Dogs. Isn't it trained for something specific?
I don't know. Dog's a dog, man.
I mean, maybe it's some kind of research. Maybe it can smell some kind of rock or something. I don't know.
Hold on, let me. You guys talk about that while I go and do a little bit of.
I'm just saying, a dog can detect a person. So let's just, and I'm sure it's probably smart enough. We get the handler to go. Let's go walk it. I'll walk it with the handler. Me can walk it with the handler. I don't care. Get the dog to sniff it out. Real, fake, whatever. This is just driving me up the wall.
I've been thinking too. I'm trying to connect dots here. Okay.
Yeah.
We got the Pentapod, we got Struer, we got the garage, and we have the computer that messed up and can't locate Struer.
Oh, yeah.
The only person that would benefit from that is Struer.
Right.
So maybe Struer, when he came into the garage and left, that wasn't his goal anyway. That was him tripping the alarm to get everybody's attention. And he entered and did something to the computer.
I mean, for full possibility. I am fully of the opinion that there's something wacky going on here, and this is nothing reasonable. And like I said, I'm on board with the judicial application of kinetic energy to solve this problem.
Okay, I say no. No, I want to make this clear. We do not need to shoot him unless he is putting somebody else in mortal peril. You or somebody
shoot?
else.
Who said shoot?
Well, you said kinetic.
Right. I can throw a wrench, damn it.
Okay.
And she
I'm
throws a pen hard.
I'm picturing Spearman actually pantomiming, throwing a wrench at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, the goal should be to get him off the planet alive, because that's what we were sent up here to do.
Right.
But we do also have to protect our lives and the lives of the other people here. So if it gets to that point, then unfortunately we are going to have to act that way.
I understand. I'm on board with that. I just,
okay.
I don't know what else to do. Everything in my nerves is telling me that there is something wrong here, but everything in my eyes is telling me that there's not. So I don't know what else to do.
Well, I'm going to move to the logistics module for right now, where the computer is on the ground floor.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's happened, dude. Am I still in the middle of the hallway there?
No, that's Spearman. I moved you.
Okay.
Oh, here you are, right here.
Okay. Yeah. So just stick me over here where the computer was. I think wasn't it in the other one?
We just assumed it was in the bottom somewhere. Yeah, because this kind of looks like it might be server stuff.
All right. So I'm going to ask Grendel, and this, of course, since I'm in person here, it doesn't have to be over the loudspeaker. Okay. Is there any other exit from this module other than the door to the hallway?
I need to look something up really quick. Second.
Da, na, na, da, na, na, da, na, 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 da.
And I'll also
Na,
ask
na.
Grendel, is it possible that Struer has somehow changed your programming?
Give me one moment. I'm actually reading something. I'm
No
trying to
problem.
figure out. And the answer to that question is actually looks like that is an exit.
Oh, that's a door right there?
Big Minecraft server.
Oh, crap, there's doors on all these well, not all
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. At least
The
on this
lab
one.
module has a door, it looks like, on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, these two do.
But
Huh.
these would also be registered as tracked. Like, so if somebody
Right.
coming in and out with one of those trackers embedded in them, or any other tracker for that matter, they would be picked up. So Grendel's answer is yes, there is an exterior access point, but it is also, grocery store door marked. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. That, if Schroer had come in through that exit, he would have been picked up on the sensors, and he has not been.
If he had a tag.
If he was tagged, yes.
Right.
And then your second question, was your question something to the effect of Grendel's software or operating system being messed with?
Could it have been possible that the last time Struer came into the unit that he somehow altered Grendel's programming or perceptions?
Grendel gives you by voice a response, but you could tell it's only coming out of a local speaker. And it says, if Struer had altered my programming, I'm sure he would have said not to report such alterations.
I didn't ask you to report it. I just asked if it was possible.
But you're asking if it was possible. Okay, now I'm talking myself in circles. Grendel will answer with, Struer does have some minimal access for diagnostic reasons. It is possible he could have altered some of my programming, but not the tracking system. Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase that part. The tracking system that Grendel has access to, which is essentially reporting, reporting and logging. Like, he can't lock doors, for instance, because it's not that kind of a program or computer or what have you. You were about to say something.
Okay. The condition of the door, is it wet around it? Does it look like anybody's been through it?
There's no recent footprints.
Okay.
You meant like on the inside or the outside?
On the inside, like melted snow or whatever
there's no,
from the storm, mud or
there's probably some staining from other people using it in the past, but not necessarily anything recent. Yeah. Not as far as you could tell. Like, it doesn't look like anybody's come through here in a couple hours, at least.
Okay. All right. So I want to sweep. This is the ground floor. Yeah, I want to sweep this real good. Look behind all the machinery, all that kind of stuff. I want to see. I mean, granted, if there was like a hole in the wall, we'd be having a problem with pressure and stuff in here.
Correct.
So I'm pretty much sure if he did this, he would have had to come through that door. But I don't know. That definitely makes me wonder if he isn't the cause of the computer issues too.
Computer issues. I think you're just being mean to the computer.
Well, the computer that tells me he's here and then can't tell me where, that's a problem. That's not normal, I think, as Grimaldi said.
It is abnormal, I think he said. Or unusual.
Right.
Give me a recon something or other roll. Recon dex. Just because you're trying to lean in behind shit and under shit.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, you don't. Yeah.
Wait,
nope, everything's fine here.
Yeah, okay.
That
Everything
is
looks
what
good.
we call a critical failure. If there is some, you wouldn't be able to find. Jesus Christ.
Why did 4 dice pop up?
Oh, wait, what?
I don't know about that. Just to be clear, there's no such thing as criticals in this system, but yeah, you probably did fail.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I failed. That would have been
here.
That would have been a 4.
Let me clear that and then delete that and delete that. There, that way.
Okay.
Next time you roll, I don't know.
That was weird. I don't know why I did that.
Hey, I'm
That's
not sure
bizarre.
either. Maybe because I hit Control Z at one point to back it up a step in history. But yeah,
All right.
long
So I
and
go
short
back
of
to
it
the hab
is,
module. I
yeah.
tell Blaine, what my suspicions were there. That I looked around. I didn't see anything. There is a door down there that leads outside. It didn't seem to have been disturbed. Might not be a bad idea that if you before we switch out the guard in the hall for the person to make a sweep through logistics, first, and then replace the person in the hallway. Um, just because the dots kind of connect.
Get down.
And it's
Shut up.
possible
Get
that
down.
he had gained access to logistics module, and that can be part of the reason why we're having trouble tracking him inside the station, if
So
he's
it
even
looks
inside the
like,
station.
so lab module, there's exterior access there.
Yep,
I thought the power would have had one, but I guess not.
it doesn't. Only the middle section has
Yeah.
them
So yeah, the
on the
labs,
ground floor.
lab and logistics, and then obviously the garage, and then the primary airlock.
Yeah,
It looks like.
somebody should probably be looking at that one too, then, in case he tries to enter through there. Because if he's cut his little thing off, I don't know, wrapped it in aluminum foil so the signal's not great, that the computer can say that he's here, but it can't pinpoint where. He can come and go at any door all he wants, and it's not going to ping him anymore.
I mean,
So,
that's what it seems like at this point.
yeah. And to find that little, I mean, it's a freaking grain of rice or whatever, probably,
Yeah,
that he dug
well,
out of his arm. Yeah.
because I'm thinking like the size of the chip that you see on a flash drive or something. The part that connects to the computer. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
It's not that big.
even,
It's no
yeah,
more than a couple of centimeters at the most.
yeah. So, I mean, if we had some kind of comms device that could scan for the particular frequency that those things give off and isolate everybody in one area and sweep the rest of it with, but I don't know if we have a device like that. So,
Yeah, I'm thinking it would have to be some sort of RFID or radio
mhm,
freak.
Or some kind of like bug finder.
Yeah.
yeah, or tricorder.
A tricorder.
I'm sorry. I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ. No, that fits. That was perfect. Well executed. Okay. So yeah, so it's gonna be a few hours before I guess anything happens unless somebody wants to do something more specific right now, yeah?
No.
I say we settle into our little routine here and let some time pass.
Okay. I need a 2d6 roll from anybody. This is just a generic one roll. See if it random encounter check sort of deal.
All right.
Go for
Public
it,
makes the
Charles.
roll. He hasn't rolled anything.
7. Okay. So around about local, a couple hours shortly before local midnight, but something like 5 o'clock in the morning standard time, the sound of the rain and the wind, whatever can actually penetrate the exterior of the hab modules and whatever, like that sound goes away over time. So the storm is broke, it's there, it's gone, and then about 5 hours later, it is actual local midnight. At some point along the way, in the last number of hours, the Pentapod has knocked on the door twice. I imagine nobody's actually answered him, or has anybody actually gone to see?
Milligan said he would go and talk and say, "Hey, you want to come in?"
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd said that the next time he was set to knock on the door, I was going to be at the airlock, no
Okay.
matter what else was going on. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. So let me see. Uh, 8 o'clock in the evening of the 28th. This would have been about between 3 and 4 hours after you guys basically said, "All right, let's get settled in and just ride this out," because whatever's gonna happen happens. You get the knock, knock, knock at the airlock,
Mm-hmm.
and it's obviously the Pentapod, because who else is outside in the middle of the damn storm? The storm is still going for clarity and time continuity. And he gives you the normal, you got dead bodies to trade, but he doesn't say anything like that because Pentapods have more than one mouth.
Right.
And they don't always say the
So
exact same word.
I say not yet, and I say
You actually
I
say
said
not yet?
I do say not yet. I say not yet. I don't want to discourage him. So not yet. I said, but I really feel bad for you standing out here in the cold. Would you like to at least move to the airlock?
You get a Pentapod-ish answer of, "I will be fine, I will be okay. But thank you." And then also at the same time he says thank you, you also get you're welcome. And then you can't read. I imagine you can't read Pentapod body language, but he's got two eye stalks out, and they're both looking at you, and one of them gives it looks like a wink. I'm gonna tell you
that's
out of
just
character.
weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you out of character though that this is his confused look. Like those two words don't go together because one
Mhm.
side said thank you, the other side you're welcome. Those one's a response to the other, and so the one eye is like a confusion look. But you wouldn't know that because you don't read Pentapod body language.
Right.
And I don't know if that's actual lore or not, but it is now, at least for us. That when a Pentapod is
Okay.
confused, it winks at you.
Mhm. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Or as Wiggle said last week, creepy, creepy, creepy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very interested in learning more about this Pentapod, but no, don't be winking at me. That's just weird. Okay. I'm like, if you change your mind,
Yeah, right.
don't hesitate to knock again. I would be happy to let you into the airlock. I said, but right now we don't have any whatever he called the bodies. He didn't call them bodies. He called them something else. Disposed
Yeah,
shells or
disposable.
whatever it was.
Biomass.
Yeah, human biomass or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's being respectful. Like, hey, you got any cadavers?
Yeah, exactly. He just doesn't know the word cadaver and what it means.
Mhm.
He's using, disposable biomass or whatever. Yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll move up. And of course, he comes knocking again 7 hours later. The storm is still going. Actually, it would be about, I'm not even going to get specific timelines. He knocks one more time, and then shortly afterwards, the storm ends. Do you want to continue interacting with him or just...
No, I just wanted to give him the opportunity to come in
You
the
give him
airlock.
a- you
I
give him a
wanted
quick-
to secure.
You give him a quick wave through the airlock window to let him know that, yeah, I hear you, but no,
Uh-huh.
nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Don't come a knocking at the air modules. Oh, sorry.
Damn.
So, have any of the sweeps through the lab module or the logistic module picked anything up?
How often are you sweeping?
Well, like I said, every time they change the guard, before they replace that
every 4
guard, they have
hours?
to sweep those. Yeah, they have to sweep those two areas and then replace that guard, and that guard gets to go to sleep.
Give me a basic roll. Just 2d6. Anybody.
Oh, hang on, I'll do it.
Because I'm sure at least one of those knuckleheads has some sort of recon. But it won't matter because nothing has
Like
showed
a
up.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there is anything to be found, they have not found it. It's just a...
Okay.
In fact, after like the second or third time, it's almost like routine, and they're not even really looking that hard anymore. It's like, yep, those are the same 6 empty boxes of whatever that were there 4 hours ago.
Dude, get off my keyboard. Jeez.
Mine just came over and kind of pestered me a little bit, but hopping up on my desk too.
I don't know what he wants, but he wants something. He probably wants food.
Nope. All right, anything else, or shall we move on to our next time interval thingy?
That's
Time
time
interval.
interval. Let's get the heck
All right.
off of here.
All right. It is local time. It is like the equivalent of something like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Temperature outside is drastically colder than it was when you first arrived. It's something like -30 Celsius. The actual time is 8 p.m. on the 29th of May. I need another 2d6 roll, please.
All right.
Awesome.
That's a terrible roll. You should feel bad.
I always feel
Exactly what I
bad.
rolled.
Okay, let me update my thingy really quick. My stream overlays or whatever. And then our last rolling opportunity is actually 1 a.m. on the 30th of May. So let me update that again. Let me update and then we'll talk about this roll. So that's actually going to be like Saturday, 30th of May. And the local time is something like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Like an hour. It feels like it would be like an hour or two before sunrise, and it is like fucking cold outside. It's like -50 or 60. Okay. I need one more roll. One more
All
2d6. I don't care who rolls it. All right. So give me a 1d6 roll, please.
All right. If I can make it work. There.
Okay, so here's what happens. The dog, throughout the evening, well, keep in mind, local evening, overnight, whatever, periodically the dog has to go walk around and do things that dogs do when they go outside.
Right.
And Rita has accompanied the dog and taken it to, in each case, basically, I would imagine that they would want to go somewhere where most people wouldn't want to go. So I think what we see is she ultimately takes the dog into the garage. And every time she goes in there, right, or they go in there rather, they clean up after themselves, correctly disposing, so there's nothing left behind. You might catch a whiff of dog excrement or what have you, right?
Yeah.
But nothing.
So,
Go ahead.
so it is a smart dog, but not so smart we can't teach you to go shit in a toilet.
I don't know if Neo dogs can. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, this one cannot, or just chooses not to, and instead decides that shitting on perfectly fine concrete flooring in the garage is adequate, in lieu of shitting on rocks in methane. They are returning through the hallway. Who's on guard? I know currently we just have Spearman, but just for the sake of argument, who is actually on guard?
We'll make it Blaine.
Okay. I see what you're doing. Oh, let's not have one of the knuckleheads because clearly the GM's about to do some shit.
Right?
Let's put one of the smart ones up there.
Yep. So, yeah, Blaine's just kind of pacing up and down the hallway.
Probably not even paying attention anymore at this point. It's been literally something like 24 hours since all this shit started and nothing has happened.
Right.
Where is the dog and where is... I changed the dog's color to be somewhat different and now I can't find it quickly. There he is.
It is.
There's Albrecht and there's Rita. Okay. Alright. They are in the hallway, and once they get to the lab module door, the dog starts acting incredibly weird. It actually, instead of continuing past the doorway, it stops, sits down, drops its head, not quite into like a laying down, but like looking down, and it clearly is picking up a scent or something, and starts whimpering and kind of not really cowering, but starting to try to inch away from the lab module door.
At which the Blaine, being angry and just annoyed and everything, looks at her and goes, "What's wrong with your dog?"
I don't know. He normally does. Albrecht, what's wrong? What's wrong? And the dog starts barking, and is now up on 4 feet, and hackles a raise.
All right. And then she's gonna say, "Get to the module."
Oh, God damn it, Charles! I need you to check your headset or mic or whatever.
Okay, hang on.
Sorry, man. I was really hoping we'd get through a full session without having this problem.
Yeah, you got me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Blaine immediately tells him to run to the module. Don't walk fast, run. And then immediately screams on the comm to get up and get going and get Milligan, and says, "We have an incident in the lab module."
Okay, give me a half second here. I'm trying to find something in one of my random ass notes from way back when. Apparently, I didn't have that recorded anywhere where I thought I did. Oh, but you know where I do have it? I remember somewhere. Saved objects. Let's see. Here we go. Boom.
Whoa.
Ooh, she's got a shitty dex. All right, I need a dex check for Blaine.
All right, hang on.
What happened?
Is the dog about to murder someone? Oh
Mm.
my god, is the dog a pentapod?
I can't even
Is
see what that
everything a
is.
pentapod?
Oh, well,
No, but the dog is going
what is it
nuts, and
for? That's
this is
-1,
turning into a
so a
thing.
10.
Yeah, it's a minus. So it's a 10.
Yep. Okay, so here's what happens. First, let's just get Blaine out of here. Get that one out of here. They'll pop up on the
You
border.
get out of here, Blaine. You piece of
Okay.
shit.
Blaine, where's Milligan? Is Milligan actually in the hallway right now? I don't think so.
Yep, that's me right there. I think
Still randomly?
one of the brown ones is me. The one that somebody's moving around is me.
Yeah, that's you. Okay.
Yep.
So you tell Albrecht and Rita to book it.
Yep.
They make it about here.
Okay.
Coming out of the door suddenly is none other than Professor Stewart wearing his full suit minus the helmet, which is currently racked on his side like a canteen.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
He has a pistol in his hand, and he basically bum rushes and body blocks Blaine out of the way. You rolled your dexterity as a response, and you actually maintain your footing.
And at
Oh,
which
that's
she
good.
screams.
Fucked
She
up.
just screams, "Not again!"
Not again.
and and then jumps on tries to jump onto this professor
Yep.
and say, "Get down! Stop! We're here to help."
Are you like tackling,
Yes.
wrestling, grappling, something of that effect?
Wrestling, grappling, yeah,
Trying to control
Yeah.
that weapon, right?
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
she's got a weapon
definitely.
of her own too
Right.
in her
Right,
hands.
right,
I'm assuming.
But I was told I can't use kinetic energy to help this.
Oh, I
and
said there were.
also, I want to be clear. I said he
Yeah.
has the gun or the pistol in his hand, not
Yeah.
specifically pointing, because at the time he just
Okay.
so basically he just
Yeah.
ran into her, didn't really get the tackle to go off the way he wanted it to, or body block or whatever.
Yeah.
And now they're
Yeah.
basically grappling in the hallway.
Yeah.
Albrecht is now coming around and snarling at Struer. And Rita is like, I don't know if the dog would actually be leashed, because I feel like they would be comfortable enough to walk around unleashed or whatever. But I think she's actually trying to get Albrecht back under control.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, like I said, Blaine kind of snarls and growls and just says, "Not again," and starts to jump after Professor Stewart, and kind of has
Oh,
her
shit.
weapon held
Go ahead, I'm listening. Sorry.
held in a way to like use it as a club
Yeah.
to kind of knock him out.
Okay. Give me. So I apologize, by the way. You have a 4 of endurance, not
Oh.
dexterity. It's fine. Like you
Okay.
rolled an 11 naturally, so it's no big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
You also have a strength of 10, and if I'm not mistaken, that's actually +2. 6?
Yeah.
+1.
No,
I think.
plus
Plus
one.
one.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
11 or okay. All right. So I need a strength test. It's going to be
Okay.
opposed, and I never
Okay.
gave this guy an actual stat, so you give him a +1.
Ooh,
Oof.
yeah.
So I got a 5.
I got a 4.
And you got a 4. In this round of grappling, Blaine is forced down, and as Blaine goes down, what is Milligan doing? And let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. By down, I mean he's basically got her forced to her knees, and almost, if this was a wrestling match, like it would be going into a pin move sort of thing. But he's basically got Blaine overpowered at the moment. What is Milligan doing? I'm assuming you are indeed in the hallway.
Has he raised that gun yet?
No, he kind of he basically shoulder checked and it got countered, and then now he's trying to wrestle her down. He still has the gun in his hand. He just hasn't brought it up to actually shoot anybody. You basically have kind of like a free shot to the flank if you want to do something like that.
Right.
Considering
And
hallway and all that.
how do you attack for subdual or whatever? Like if I was gonna butt stock him.
Just roll.
Technically-
I don't know what the official answer is. You just roll a strength attack, and if it hits, whatever damage, because you're declaring non
Non-lethal.
non-lethal. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're declaring non-lethal, like he would take the hit, but it won't kill him. It'll just, at some point he'll collapse.
Yeah,
Right.
rules why technically it doesn't exist. The closest you have is the stun trait. It's a pretty common house rule to say that this can do stun damage if you want them to, but technically it doesn't exist.
Okay, just give me a strength test against a. I'm gonna make it a 9 because normally it would be 8, but he is in grapple, but also very close range. So just a strength plus 9, or 9 plus with strength.
Okay.
And what's your strength?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I don't even have a bonus.
Okay. Yeah, you hit him, and it
That's why I
barely.
was trying not to actually grapple.
Yeah, you hit him. Like, well, you get a good. I don't want to say butt stroke, but you get the good old butt stop smack.
And I'll yell out, "Drop your weapon."
Oh, he's ignoring you.
I'm
But
sure he
here's
is.
why he's ignoring you. So you come in and you try to do the old butt stock to the head or shoulder or something to get him to like calm the fuck down or what have you. It hits, but it misses. Like, let me rephrase. It hits, but it doesn't really have any effect. And then the next thing you know, the dog has effectively shaken its little rebreather mask thing off. Because I'm pretty sure in that handout you see the picture of the dog with the mask on, right? It is shaking that thing off. Yeah, he's shaking that thing off, and he's got his front paws on him, on Struer, and he's got him and basically knocked to the ground. And the dog is just like, I'm talking like rabid, snarling and barking like centimeters from his face. I need a 2d6 roll for Blaine and a 2d6 roll for Milligan. On an 8 better from either of you, the next action that Struer does will be prevented. There you go. Milligan, you managed to somehow, I'm going to let you explain how you do this, but effectively what you do is you prevent the dog from being shot at point blank.
By taking his gun away. No, I'm sorry.
Well, so imagine, okay, so basically, so you hit him with the buttstock of your weapon, it doesn't really phase him. The dog doesn't get much of a running jump, but does manage to knock him to the ground, and is now effectively standing on his chest, barking and snarling and snapping in his face. Struer's got the gun in his hand, and he's like, fuck this dog. I'm going to shoot him in the rib cage. And what do you do to prevent that?
The easiest thing to do that would be to use my foot and pin his wrist to the floor.
Okay. That'll work.
Yep. And then, next round I can try to recover the firearm or whatnot.
Well, he's not moving. He can't do shit. Like, the most he can do at this point is yell vehemently.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's actually starting to get scared because he's no longer in control in any way, shape, or form. Yep. And what he thought was a good moment was not.
Yeah. Once I have the gun in my control, I'm going to yell, get control of your dog.
And then
Rita will. God, I don't know what's her nationality. Whatever her nationality is, she speaks something in her native tongue, right? And it's like a power down command. I don't know what else to call it. Heal or some shit. And the dog just immediately. Well, actually, no, not immediately. Like, because the dog is like definitely caught up in the moment. The dog starts to. At first, it takes like 2 or 3 tries, and then eventually the dog's like, "Huh? You want me to what? What?" And then eventually the dog figures it out. And this dog, of course, is smarter than others. It's just needed to, engage its Neo brain and not its monkey brain. That's a thing, by the way.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
or
then
actually, I think in this case
up.
it'd be a lizard brain, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Blaine's standing up and just shaking her head around and just going, that's the second time some nut job professor's dropping on my people.
Hold on, what was the first one?
The one station with the robots.
Did she get jumped? Hold on.
By
Not
that
her.
guy or whatever?
I don't remember. It's fine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. And then maybe taps on the other wrist.
Charles, I love you, man. Your headset's
Yep.
killing me. I can't make
Yeah,
out what you're
I know.
saying. I'm sorry.
All right. No, hang on.
So
So she jumps up and she steps on the other foot and pulls her other gun out pulls her other gun out, her gun out and holds it against his head and basically says, "If you move, you will be going back in a bag."
Yeah, I think he's kind of stuck. And he just looks up and he's like, I really hope you're not pentapods right now.
Say what? That's exactly what I say. Say what?
Yeah, that's not what she does too. She looks at him and says, and says something in some just weird French German blend of like, what did you just say,
Bert the
Cracker?
Ferk?
Yeah. What did you just say, Cracker?
Wow! Wow! Salty much?
Yeah.
No, he looks up and he's kind of like he's got his hands like he can't really get his hands up because everybody's stepping on his wrists and shit. But he's
Oh,
not
I'm still
moving.
standing on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like he can't like do anything, right? He's kind of like,
Nope.
I really hope when you said home that you meant like Beowulf or I don't know Earth and not Pentapod Home, which actually I think it's actually named Home or God or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
God home, I think is what it
Something
is.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Earth means dirt, so you know.
Mm.
You're not
Anywho,
wrong.
she just looks. No, there's the only pentapod we know of is the one outside, and he keeps asking for bodies. Where have you been?
That's a. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me up, please. I'm not. He dropped. Like he's already let go of the gun, but like any sort of fight, you could
Yeah.
see it, like bleed
That's-
from his skin. Like it's gone.
But-
His fight is gone.
That's okay. Answers first, standing up second.
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I've been here this whole time. Well, shortly after you guys got here, I mean. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing.
Blaine's just looking over at Milligan and just going, What? Who? Where the hell? What's the who's it's?" And just really wants to, and she just looks at him and says, "I really want to just slap you, but I can't."
I ask him very plainly, have you been diagnosed with any mental disorder?
I should not be laughing so hard. Oh my god. No, in fact, he looks at it, he's like, no, what are you talking about? Now, he doesn't do it nearly as animatedly as I just
Uh-huh.
did, but he's like, no, what are you talking about? No, I'm fine.
If you're
Okay.
fine, why didn't you knock on the front door and just come in?
The Pentapod was out there. I don't want to be around that son of a bitch. I don't know if he would
Is
actually
it
say.
armed?
Okay, so first, I don't know if he would actually said son of a bitch, but he would have made it plain that he didn't want to be anywhere near that guy. When you asked if the Pentapod was armed, is that what you asked?
Yeah.
I have no idea, and I'm not about to find out.
Yeah. The answer's no. And he just wants one thing. He's like programmed to ask one question over and over, and that's all he is. He's like a messenger or something. Granted, there's got to be more of them, but there's not any more of them here. For now, because of your very odd behavior, we're going to need to put you somewhere secure until it's time to go.
Just let me have my hands, please. I understand. I get it. Put me in one of the different halves or a different module than everybody else. I don't care. Just don't zip tie my hands.
No, you will be restrained.
Lock me in a room. I don't care.
You will be restrained.
I think at this point, it's
And-
like he kind of gives that like, all right, obviously this negotiation or whatever is not. I mean, granted, he's still being he's negotiating from the flat of his back. Like he's
I
not gonna get
understand, yeah.
anywhere. He's like, all right, fuck it, whatever, man, just whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if he just said it quite like that, but that's the tone. That's the message.
Right, so then Blaine just grabs him basically by the shirt collars and lifts him up, and then just goes, "Let's go, knucklehead."
Yep.
And
Stick
then
him in the
Just-
common room on the ground floor and have one. Just put him in the corner.
Put him in
Have it.
yeah, I mean, you could
Mhm.
definitely. I mean, you don't even have to put him on the ground floor. You can just put him in here somewhere.
I was
I
just
mean, it's
talking
up to
about
you.
put
It's
him.
up to you, obviously.
I want other people to be able to have their eyes on him, so I say we just put
Oh,
him
here you go,
right
right
over
here.
here.
Put him in here. That looks kind
Yeah,
of
there's
like a
nobody.
couch or something in there.
That's a bed, but yeah, I want him over here
No, in here,
though,
in
where
here.
there's other people.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, no, I want him. Where am I? Where did I go?
You're in the
I'm here.
hallway
So
somewhere.
I want him. I
You're on
want him
Grendel.
like over here because there's other people around. So I want other people than just us to be able to keep an eye on him too. So zip tie his ass and sit him in this corner, and that's where he's
Stare
going
at
to
the
stay until
wall
it's
until
time
we
to
leave.
go. That's
Stare
right.
at the wall until we leave.
I will be nice and zip tie him in the front instead of the back.
Oh, at least he can spoon
But
feed himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
will
And
tell
then
him that too. I'm being nice, and
Yeah.
we're going to restrain you with your hands in front of you. Do not use them for anything you don't think
I
would be
think
prudent.
I think after he gives that last little bit of surrender or whatever, and you start leading him off, he's just kind of like, there's no fight in him at all. Absolutely
well,
no fight, and he kind of mutters to himself, and all you can really catch is something about, I really thought they were pentapods. I really did, and they weren't. And I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. This is dumb.
Well, and then Blaine's
Professor
just going to ask
Dumbass,
him.
yes.
Blaine's just going to ask him as she's dragging him along. Where were you hiding? Did you not hear the message?
He says something to the effect of, he's just like, I just ignored it. I thought it was a trap. I thought pentapods had taken over the station and that they were trying to work their way up into Earth government. And they needed... Honestly, I thought all of you were pentapods at this point. And there's such an emotional, that feeling when you gamble on something that you're dead certain on, and then you find out you are 100% incorrect. That's where he's at right now. It all shows on his face.
Because you were
Right.
crazy. Where's Grimaldi during all of this?
I think at some point hold on, where is Grimaldi? That's Grace. That's Food. That's Grimaldi. I think he was probably asleep, and then he heard the commotion, and probably about the time you actually start leading him into the hab, he's already here by the door, and he's kind of just like, he just has that what the fuck look on his face. Like, he has no idea what happened. He has no idea what's going on. He doesn't understand any of it. And he's actually looking at you, Milligan. He's like, he's not going to say it quite like this because he's got first, an Italian-Scottish mix accent, and he's a professor, doctor-ish. But he's basically like, I need some answers, man.
Well, I hold the gun up and I say, here's your red band item.
I don't know if he would say fuck me, but that definitely comes out of his mouth. It's like, fuck. Are you serious? That was, oh my god. Grendel, why didn't you tell me that somebody printed a gun? And Grendel kind of comes back with, I can only simply record that. Or no, I'm sorry. Grendel would have been like, I didn't know a red band item had been printed on your fabricator. And when he says your, he doesn't mean Grimaldi's personal or anything. He just means like Grimaldi's
Not
stations.
mine.
Yeah, it's Grimaldi's stations fabricator.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, so Blaine takes him and puts him into whatever spot that Milligan asked, and then basically
He's over
tells
here.
Spearman and Aiello.
And I put Blaine over there too.
Yeah. And basically and then grabs Spearman and Aiello and say, you will stand outside the door here. And
is that a door? Or is it just like I can't tell. Is it a raised area? Are those walls or?
I think they're walls.
Or is it just like raised
Kind of looks like there's
something?
a door right there. But
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. We can just assume there's a door.
I just saw it.
Because that looks like because this looks like some sort of meeting or conference room kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she basically tells Spearman and Aiello, if he even knocks on the door, sort of asking to go to the bathroom, put him down.
You mean
and then look.
I think
and then look
Spearman,
around and just
you get both Aiello and Spearman. They both look at each other like, what? And then one of them, Spearman, is like, you need a bullet in the head down?
No.
Come on. You gotta choose your words better than that. Like, I got you, but...
then she just mutters, "It's been too long. I need to get off this ice ball."
Grimaldi in the background overhears ice ball. It's not frozen yet. No, wait, that was Grendel.
And then she looks see the Snapchat and just Snapchat and says, and puts up a finger with one, and then slowly palms the pistol.
Yeah. All right,
I have the pistol.
we are down to
What is
about 10 minutes.
pistol?
I kind of want to. I'm sorry. What?
What is the pistol that he was able to print?
Regular old 9mm kind of pistol. I'm sure in the book.
A trailer, like a chip trailer special or whatever.
I don't know what
Yeah,
that means.
Saturday Night Special.
Yeah, it's just a regular automatic pistol. I'm sure the book actually tells me what it is, but I don't remember, and it wasn't that important.
Okay.
It was only meant to be a plot device to let you know that some shady shit was about to. Oh, come on, cat! God damn it! Hold on. Hang on. I have lost. I can't hear anything, so give me a second. Sorry, my cat was being a jerk and swatted at my headset cable. Yeah, so the pistol was only a minor plot device to let you know that some crazy cat. I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you. I'm not actually gonna punch you, cat, but goddamn. Anyway, can I hear you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I hate that feeling when like nobody answers and I'm like, I just did this, but did I skip a step? All right, so we got about 10 minutes left. What I would like to do is kind of narrate the rest of your stay on Grendel, because there's really not much more planned for the rest of, between now and when you guys take off. Yep. There is one small interaction that we'll get to in just a moment, but as long as you guys are cool with that, we can do that, and this will pretty much wrap up the meat and potatoes of this module, or this printout, or pre-published adventure thingy.
Yeah.
Everybody cool with that? Okay. All right, so basically what happens is, eventually the sun comes up, and the sun is going to come up at, let me pull up my timeline really fast. Local sunrise is about 3 a.m. on the 30th, so basically at about another 2 hours after you detain Crazy Boy. And it takes a little while for things to start warming up enough to melt the ice that is basic. I don't know, I picture something like an inch or two thick ice on all of the reaction control surfaces and whatnot of the two landers. But it takes a little while before things get warm enough to start thawing out the ice, start doing the pre-flight checks and all that, start getting all the equipment that needs to go back to Beowulf, which there are a number of crates and, Tupperware bins and whatever, totes and all that stuff. As you guys are leaving, like leaving at this point, like the ships are, the engines are warmed up and actually starting to fire. As you guys are heading out for the final time, the station is locked up tight. The pentapod, actually I need to pull up my notes for this part. At this point, the pentapod waiting at the door will try one last time to effect a trade. I'm going to assume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but since nobody actually died, you have nothing to trade. Nope. Please confirm or deny. All right.
Yeah.
Not yet. The pentapod will pull in all 5 eye stalks and then extends 2 more. And as Milligan, as you are leaving and you walk by the pentapod at about, something close to arm's length, the pentapod will hand you something. I'm not sure how a pentapod would hand it to you, but they do have 5 legs, so I suppose they can balance on 4 while holding the other one out. But it's holding something.
Some kind of manipulators, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it, whatever it is, and look at it.
Okay. It is a small item. It's a piece of cloth. Looks like it was a shoulder patch from a uniform or a spacesuit. And it has, at the top, there is a small French tricolor flag. And in the center, it says T-274. and then below that, a name, Durandal. And the
Like from
huh?
like from Lord of the Rings.
So it's like a ship. It does sound like an elf name.
It does actually, yeah. Let me type up the name so you can.
So this looks like a French space military patch. Is that
I don't know about
accurate?
military, but French something.
Okay.
The goddamn, I'm sorry. The Pentapod hands you this patch or this piece of a patch or whatever it is, and says, if you ever come back to this, I'm gonna paraphrase because I can't speak Pentapod, and I don't mean the language, just their sentence structure.
Mhm.
But he says something to the effect of, if you come back this way, maybe we can find something else to trade. And he hands you the patch, and then he starts heading off towards the east, or maybe it was the
I
west,
say,
whichever direction
do-
the book says he's supposed to go.
I ask him, does he need a ride?
You get the, I don't know what the Pentapod equivalent of a head shake would be, but you get a general feeling of no.
Okay.
And as he trudges off through
Okay.
the melting ice and snow and mud.
Well, he's more hardy than I am. I wouldn't be wanting to walk around this place.
Yeah. It treads and the Pentapod will just slowly trudge off to the west. So
Okay.
then you guys load up on the LC-10s. I'm assuming Milligan is flying the one that he did not fly on the way out.
Correct.
And as you break atmosphere, your sensor, whoever's on the sensors, no roll or anything like needed, you will see that same faint heat trace, but this time it is very close within visual range. So whoever's in the cockpit, which to my recognition would be Milligan, Reese, Karina.
No, it's Reese is on the other ship, flying the other ship.
Well, I
So
mean,
Karina's.
I was thinking that whoever's in the cockpit of both ships would be
Oh,
able to see
okay.
this.
Yeah.
Because I imagine you guys are flying somewhat tandemly or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then whoever else is flying, I would imagine at least 2, but not more than 3 or 4. Anyway, long story short, if you're looking out from the cockpit, you will see a dark shape against the stars, nightmare black, shaped like a delta wing that ripples and changes shape as you watch. But then, as soon as you can see it, it disappears because the landers go to stutter warp.
Boo.
And that is it.
I wanted to chase it. Uh,
Yeah, so effectively what it is you pick it up,
yeah.
and then you basically are clear of whichever it is. I keep wanting to call it the shore. You're in deep enough space water that you can now go to stutter
Right.
warp. It's just, and you're gone. You're
The wall. We've made it
the
above
wall.
the wall.
That's it. The
Yeah.
wall.
Okay.
That
So do we have
is.
that recorded?
It would be in the sensor logs.
Okie doke. I'm gonna need a copy of those sensor logs.
I need both ships from both on the way in and on the way
Yep.
out. I need your mother's maiden name. And that's it. That's all I got. Charles,
Yes, sir.
feedback and outro, please, if you'd be so kind.
So the outro is don't go to an ice planet without having proper entertainment.
Yeah, because nobody brought a deck of cards. I'm sure there was a deck of cards on the station somewhere, though.
Right. But you know how it is when you have that one game of spades that starts at the
Yeah.
start and
Yep.
then ends, and it just says us versus them, and you just keep adding zeros.
Yep.
There
There's
has to
like,
be-
well, we're gonna play to 1,000, and now it's 10,000.
Yeah, and then I think this was pretty cool. I'm sure we probably could have solved this a lot faster, but it just became. I think we were just running up against the limits of what we were getting. We probably weren't asking the right questions, but I think it was pretty cool. Though the next question is, what's going to happen when we get back to Beowulf?
You'll
So
have
I'm
to
excited
watch
for
and
that.
find out next week.
Yep, I'm excited for that.
I mean, at the very least, you're going to come back and there's going to be payment for services rendered, and at least one person is going to be checked into some sort of hospital.
Yeah. 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 Oh, and I should say this: if we're talking crew manning, Blaine's definitely sitting next to that professor.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
Delicately holding something towards his ribcage, saying, "If you even twitch the wrong way."
No, I think at that
There's
point, just for the point of record, I think by
Yeah.
that point, Struer, like all the fight, all the whatever's gone, he knows he's
Yeah.
fucked up. He knows he's fucked.
Yeah.
And so he's just gonna be like, yeah, I guess like the only option he has actually is two: either comply or try to get away. And trying to get away right now, at least wait till we're on the surface. Wait till we're on the
Right.
landing pad. But even then, like that's not a good idea.
Exactly. So anyhow, that's it for me.
Alrighty. Agent Wiggles with 3 Gs. What is your feedback and what is your outro comments?
It wasn't a pentapod.
But no, I want to point out this is where I was amused the entire session, is because you guys thought that Struer was the pentapod, when in truth, Struer thought you guys were the pentapod, and that was why he was acting the way he was acting.
Well,
Also-
I'm glad we didn't go to all the waste energy trying to find someone who's actively avoiding us.
I mean, you could have, as a group, you could have figured something out to do it, because I was keeping him basically. I think I was kind of winging it, but I knew he was going to be actively trying to avoid you guys without setting off the "I'm coming in, I'm going out" sensors. On that note, the reason why Grendel couldn't pinpoint his location was because he had attempted to pull his tracker out, and in so doing, damaged it, but wasn't able to actually pull it out. We never got to this part, but he's gonna have, like, if you were to get him to take his suit off, you would see he had bandaged up his arm, and the reason for that was because he had tried literally cutting into his arm to take the tracker out, because he didn't want the staff or whatever to fall under the sway of the pentapods, and then the pentapods be able to track him down.
Okay, and do the pentapods have a history of doing that?
No, Struer's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
So
Let me
it is-
rephrase that. Struer's out of his
Yeah.
mind. It's possible, but not according to the information I use for this module. That the pentapods.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just plain old space racism.
No, well, I mean, you can call it that, or it could be space crazy. That might be a more
Yeah.
accurate term.
I think
in
it's
this
probably
case.
some of both. Yeah.
Yeah, or not so
Yeah, I
much
mean-
racism, but just ignorance of the ignorance of the unknown,
Fear. Yeah.
fear of the unknown. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, within the lore per the game, I mean, the pentapods are the most peaceful, non-threatening aliens that are out there.
yeah.
Well,
And
and
if
it's
there is any
surface.
sort of like threatening or whatever, it's simply because they're just so easily misunderstood and easy to be afraid of because of that
Yeah, I mean,
misunderstanding. That's what I'm getting out of it anyway.
Yeah, and if I remember reading right years ago in a couple of these modules, the way they speak is not Yoda-like, but it's very direct without a lot of subject verb connection. It's very the car moved.
Yeah,
The blue car. I mean, it's very like even like if you even heard it, it would just be like, and that's probably what also threw him off.
yep.
So
Well, I think it actually talks about Struer's case a little bit, where he's a little bit of paranoia. Nothing like alarming, treatable sort of paranoia, but paranoia nonetheless. And he's got a military background. That's why he had the pistol and knew about cutting the tracker and all that
Yeah.
stuff, about how he's able to avoid everybody. But of course, we didn't. In play, we didn't get into that because I kind of wanted to complete this adventure in 2 sessions, because the next session's gonna take place probably a couple weeks after you guys land again.
okay,
Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. Wiggles, what else you got for me? Feedback and or outro stuff.
I think it was fine. How things go. My character didn't have a lot to do, and that's okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's all right. It was interesting. I always had fun. I'm glad it's not going on for another session.
I'm sorry. I'm picturing in my head me trying to drag this out for a whole nother session and seeing how long it takes until my players break, let alone their characters. You got anything else?
What was he actually inside, like the sidewall stuff inside like utility areas?
I hadn't really worked all that out, but effectively he was able to know. Basically, he used his information, or I'm sorry, he used his knowledge of the layout of the facility to be able to stay out of sight. When the garage triggered, that was indeed him coming in and then leaving again, and he had done that specifically to confuse anybody that might be tracking him. And then he entered the lab, or is this the lab? Yeah, he entered the lab and basically tried to stay down low and out of sight. And of course, the lab is all trashed, like a lot of debris, a lot of busted glass, and all that stuff. He actually had used some of the glass to try to cut it up, and that's what actually messed up the chip. Um, I think one of the other things in the module is it had an option or the ability to those rolls that I was having you guys do every now and again was to see if any other incidents taken place. And one of the suggestions was that some of those incidents that take place, like different things failing, different systems failing, could be Struer sabotaging intentionally in order to try to flush out the pentapods who were body snatchers. Or mimickers, I guess would be more accurate. So I was kind of running with that area, but then none of you got, like, the 3 rolls other than the very first one we did last week, like, nothing happened. And then that last one, I just kind of like, fuck it, we need a climax. And I was like, all right, well, I guess he's just going to come bum rush out of the lab, and I'm going to have the dog be the tell, because dogs can kind of sense that sort of thing, and then see what happens from there. And he was literally going to shoot the dog if Milligan hadn't made that roll. Of course, if he had shot the dog, Rita would have lost her shit. She would have gone. Well, because the reason for neo dogs being paired with people like that typically is a kind of similar to an emotional support animal, but it's more than just the emotional support. It's more like how to deal with these different environments and things of that nature. And so these two, I pictured in my head, these two having this super deep bond. And if anything happened to the dog, she was going to lose her shit. And she might have gotten killed as well. But she would have, been in there stomping and fisting and spitting and everything if something happened to the dog. So, anyway, I digress because I went off on a tangent again. I do that a lot, sorry. Wiggles?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Mr. Thurgor!
All righty. So good session.
Feedback and outros.
Number 1.
I feel like I should take out some note cards and start writing everything down you say.
I was about to say, number 1, good session. Number 2, be glad to get everybody back together again so that, we have a more equitable split of time, in playing and everything. Number 3, see, I was right. I was right.
Number 5, I was right. Number 6, I want to point out I was right.
So, yeah, it was all insane. So that was my jump to conclusion there is dude's lost his ever-loving mind because nobody would act this way.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that pretty much panned out. So dude's going into a 48-hour psych hold for sure right off the bat.
Probably 96. I mean, there's plenty of hours. There's plenty of hours in a Beowulf day. So
he may not ever get out. So,
yeah.
But anyway, we got everybody off the planet. That's great. We got both of our ships. So far, we haven't had any major catastrophes with that, so that looks good.
You better knock on some fucking wood, bro.
I know. I'm not particularly looking forward to the fact that at the end of this, we got some kind of hook to bring us back. I'd rather go somewhere else.
God, was that mechanic ever so obvious? Or not the mechanic. Well, you know what I mean.
But I guess we'll do what we need to do since we have a patron and everything.
Yeah. And you got a kind of a riddle, I guess, solve if you want. What is the Durandal?
We're gonna have to do well. I mean, it looks like a ship patch, doesn't it?
I mean, that's what it looks like. Is either a ship or some sort of whatever a Durandal unit might be. But yeah.
Or maybe it's from a stormtrooper or something. T274. Why aren't you at your post?
Because I'm on the Durandal. All right, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, my friends, that is it for tonight. That is it for this week, unless I decide to do something silly like stream some random stuff tomorrow night, but that's probably unlikely. But do keep in mind it may happen, so who knows? Let's see, what else we got coming up? I got a couple of matches already scheduled for the Greyland Trios League Week 4. So those videos will be coming out off the top of my head. There should be a video, I'm going to say Sunday morning and possibly Monday morning. I don't remember exactly when they're scheduled. It's immaterial. Just check out the YouTube, watch for the comments on Discord. For my YouTube viewers, hope you enjoyed the show. If you have, strongly recommend and would suggest otherwise, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, join the Discord. Discord link is in the bottom, down below in the description. Of course, if you're watching me on Twitch or you want to just go to my Twitch page and follow there, subscribe there, whatever. Push all the buttons. They do some things. Some cool things happen. But beyond that, I think if I keep talking, it's just going to be random mutterings and it won't make any sense. So I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Be safe. Do what you got to do for you and yours. And as for me and mine, I'm going to get out of here, upload a video, and probably have a drink or something. I don't know. Peace, my friends. Have a good one. Stay safe.